Okay, we should be live. People should be able to hear us. Sorry, guys, that we are starting today a bit later than we said we would. But we're here and we are ready to talk about Age of Sigmar match play. And who are we? My name is Paul, and welcome to the Stormkeep. Today, I've got with me.
Hey guys, Magok.
Hey, Luis. Hello, everybody.
Okay, all right. High energy tonight. Great. Okay, so we are doing the Realm Report again. This is a series we did on the channel. Oh, geez, when's the last time we did this? I don't remember the last time we did this. It's been a long time. Dan was still on the show, and he was in charge of putting all the lists together, but now Luis has stepped up, and he's doing all that, which is fantastic, because I just...
also, there wasn't much to talk about last year in terms of lists.
Yeah. Oh, God. Indexes were so boring, right? Like, there was no variety. It was like every army got figured out. I think one of the only armies that had any kind of variance was Stormcast, because people were bored and we just didn't want to play Krond as Palador all the time. Like, I just want to use different units. So, like, okay. Every other army, it felt like, was just solved. You know, there was the best way to play it, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the first topic we could talk about is, has Scourge of Ghyran changed that at all? A Season 2 or GHB, whatever we want to call it, a Season 2. Has it changed the problems with the indexes? I'll leave that. I'll let you guys start, and then I'll throw my 2 cents in.
Oh yeah, I think it definitely has changed. I think the missions are just so much fun. Like, it's just the perfect mix of like competitive and like the 2.0 flavor missions. There's a lot to do. It requires building, more diverse armies, or at least like not concentrated one drops anymore. The missions all play, they have like caveats. It's like every mission combined with every, like how like we're starting to see like the actual 4th edition battle tomes crop up.
Mm-hmm.
The game is starting to feel like a puzzle. Like, it's like you have a puzzle in front of you, and you are trying to slot your pieces into that puzzle and solve it as best as possible. Yeah, and then you throw some dice in the way.
I want to definitely touch on the new battle tomes, not with Ideneth, but starting with Khorne and Caradron. The new battle tomes are fantastic. They are willing to take...
I would argue Ideneth's good, dude.
It's a good book. What I'm saying is it's very similar to the index. It's like an index plus battle tome. I think there's like a design difference between that and the next ones.
Right, but I feel like they're not trying to, like, here's the thing, right? Like, the initial, like, if we have like a base level of design that makes that, that army what it is thematically. Like, Ideneth always felt like Ideneth when you played them. Like, there's this tide, and it's like they go with the tide and they come back. Now it allows you to like control different aspects of it. I think flavor-wise they nailed that book. Power can obviously be adjusted, but I think that book is like, Ideneth has never been like a flavor fail, or like it has been maybe something of a power fail. But I think the power and flavor in that book are pretty bang on.
Okay.
And they reduced the one thing that book always had to rely around, something that was sort of limiting their design and power, that turn 3 or battle round 3 always fights first.
Yeah.
And they removed that. Same like, okay. And we're going to talk about Khorne and Caradron.
Fair enough. If I had to lump, it just feels like Khorne and Caradron are so different from the rest that they're in their own category. But I guess the Ideneth were a pretty significant shake-up too. Like they completely removed the Tides of Death. They replaced that. And I thought they'd never do that. I thought like since 1st edition, like that's what the army's gonna have forever. So
I mean, I was so surprised. I was like, when they talked about Nighthaunt on the stream, I was like, did they get rid of Ethereal? They were like, yeah, we did.
I can't believe that made it onto the stream. Like, this is the thing they want to talk. We're hyping up people to buy a new book. Your army just got nerfed. Like, that's not a good selling pitch for anyone. That's not good.
I would have given people more because I see a lot of doom and gloom over that, right? But realistically, like think about how it limits their design. Their infantry can never be 2 damage.
Oh yeah,
because it would be way too good.
For people like us who understand that, like, there's trade-offs. Like, if your army is all flying, all ethereal, like every good thing you have has to be offset in some way. And if you don't have an offset, then your army is going to be crazy expensive, right? Like, the better your units are, the higher their points are. So it's like, well, do we want Nighthaunt to be this super elite, super powerful army? And then you look at the models, it's like, no, there's 10 models per unit. You're not having an elite army of ghosts where every unit in the army is 10 models, right? So like you just can't design them to be as elite as they are, which means you need more models on the table, which means each model has to be weaker. But that can't be the case if every single model has a 4-up ethereal and then a 5-up ward.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so for us, when we hear, oh, they're losing ethereal, we hear, oh, fantastic. It means they can actually buff the army. So it's not this like strangely elite hitting force. Right now it's actually going to play
plays like Custodes.
Yeah, it does.
It plays like it's a Custodes army on the field. And it's like, what are we doing here? Why do they have like armor stats on them? Nothing within the model design, like your unit size is 10. Like if it was 3 or 5 in each, and that makes sense. I guess you could have an army of elite ghosts.
Yeah,
but
no, the models don't support it.
But
like,
no,
they're tougher than Ossiarch, which is funny. But anyway,
but I think the meta as the question that you asked was, how do we feel about the meta in the season? I think it's amazing. What I do think they definitely miss, and we're going to discuss this, I don't think the Scourge of Ghyran stuff was balanced for like competitive balance. I think a lot of it was flavor and like stuff they wanted to juice up the index and add more spice and fun to the game, which I appreciate because power can always be adjusted. But I do think it's that point where we're starting to see clear winners and losers, and we need to work on that.
Okay. All right. Luis, what are your first thoughts on the season? Do you think it's done enough to shake up the game from the, let's say, the fatigue of index hammer that had started to settle in?
I am seeing this season like a new complete fall, and since it's synergical point, everything is leaded to be the opposite that we have in the previous season, because now you are forced to have a lot of units. MSU is forced for this season, and in the past was not. In the past, you have 2 or 3 units that were completely reinforced, and you was smashing to the opponent, and practically that's it. Besides, in this season, we have in average 5 objectives per game. So considering this, you are forced to split your units, and you cannot go completely elite, as you have mentioned. So in that way, besides to the mechanics that every single battle plan is bringing to your decisions, also to your construction, besides your tactics, because now they are sequence, they follow a sequence. So it's practically the opposite that you have in the previous season. So there are still people that we are still not acquainted with all this mix. We are starting this season, but looks like more complex than the previous one. So in an overall overview, I feel that this one is more challenging than the previous one, and also is changing the way that we are seeing the game.
Yeah,
as in the past.
I really like that MSU is being promoted and more drops are being promoted. I really like these things because it just felt so stale that every army was running the 2 reinforced hammers and 2 drops, or like 3 reinforced hammers sometimes. It got really boring. And I like having a mix. I like having the dynamic of some reinforced units and some unreinforced units, because the reinforced units still just smash through everything. Like you still just wipe stuff out, and especially when it's like an unreinforced unit, there's just no hope of it actually doing enough damage to kill you. So reinforced units still have a lot of value, but when you have too many of them, you just can't play tactically. So you have to bring that good balance right now, which I'll say that's a good thing, and I wish it went further. I wish every army had something like 60-point Aether Wings or 80-point Khaine, like some cheap tactical chaff unit that every single army could utilize, so that each player could have like pawns that they could throw against each other, and it becomes a game of like trading pawns for scoring, and then for position, and then you put your hammers into position based off that. I think we're like so close to having a really, really, really good game, and I really hope we see some significant point cuts. Maybe not in the September battle scroll, but maybe in the winter one, this could happen, right? Like they could just have a big shakeup and be like, no, like 60-point Aether Wings, here you go, like cheap chaff.
Yeah. Besides that, I haven't seen a season like this one that is supporting to the infantry like right now. In the previous seasons, we have improvements for some kind of units, especially cavalry, especially monsters, and some heroes. Right now, I feel the infantry really has a heavy weight because you also we are counting with the obscuring the new abilities for the terrain that allows you to consider more frequently or with more units your infantry units, even if they are not moving too much because there are some tricky movements and that you can trigger. But that in this moment, I feel that perfectly the infantry is the base of every single unit. There are a few armies that are not counting with infantry, but to me, it's forced that you have infantry in your in your roster.
Infantry does feel good, that's for sure. Yeah, the biggest weakness infantry always had was shooting. Right, monsters and infantry have always been weak to shooting. Cavalry had less of a problem with shooting because you could chase it down and run them over. Whereas infantry, especially with redeploying the game, 5-inch move infantry just isn't doing anything to 18-inch move shooting ever. So now with obscuring as a strategic choice, infantry does feel better. But as a result, people are just bringing less shooting overall. So does that mean people are going to start bringing monsters again? I think so. I think I watched Caleb Hastings Caleb Hastings, right? Yeah, yeah. The Seraphon guy.
Yeah.
He put out a video focusing on Thunderquake Starhost, and I remember even looking at that before. I'm like, oh man, if shooting goes away, there's actually room for Bastillodons and Stegodons and Carnosaurs to come into the meta in a big way. So and they're starting to show results. There's 4-1 Seraphon list. There's a 5-0, maybe 2-5-0 Seraphon list that are Thunderquake Starhost, just focusing on a bunch of monsters. Some of them don't even have one of them doesn't even have a slan. It's just monsters, which is really cool.
Yeah. I did see one that was 2 Carnosaurs, like 2 Soggy Carnosaurs and just Agrodons.
Oh, they do so much damage. It's crazy. They hit like a Stormdrake Guard reinforced. It's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. And then so like you've also got the Bastillodon with the laser, which is basically a Knight Judicator with a 12 health, 14 health with Thunderquake, 2-up save, decent melee attacks, like
mortal wounds.
Yeah, and like with the laser beam on top, that's just a Knight Judicator shooting. Like, okay, all right, yeah, this is not bad at all. So I think monsters can come back into the game in a big way.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the start of the season. No, sorry, go ahead, Luis.
No, and I support that idea. At the beginning, we were afraid of the shooting, how much could be nerfed in this season, but now we have a good panorama about the shooting, unless you have a good movement in your unit of shooting, like the cavalry with shooting. I am afraid that the main nerf is impacting to the infantry or to the shooting in infantry.
Yeah,
not in cavalry.
Slow shooting or shooting that can't be reliably teleported. Because if you have translocate, if you have the wind mage from Lumineth, you can still get the right angle and still shoot at stuff. So I think slow moving shooting is just dead. Like Daughters of Khaine shooting is just gone. Nobody uses bow snakes, not just because they're a pretty lousy unit. Even if they got buffed, I don't think they'd be in play.
Yeah, the slow shooting is the one that has been ignored, let's say, in that way. But yeah, and also another thing that I like it so much for Stormcast, we have several mix in the army roster composition, and now since we have the benefit for the multiple drops, right now we have a much better composition. Let's say I am not worried about to carry on with 4 or 5 drops. And also in this season, what I like the most is that I don't need a wizard in my army composition. This is the first time that I feel and that we can survive if we have only priest, because also the priest can remove another manifestations. Yes, and we didn't the previous season. And also, since we have a lot of obscuring, we are not able to punish to the opponent's unit. So this is the things that I like the most in this season as a Stormcast player.
I haven't tried it. I think there's still way too much value in bringing a wizard, especially countercasting a bridge or just getting Aether Rot manifestations out. Like the pendulum is ridiculously good. Quicksilver swords are actually pretty decent, and the cogs, they could save you command points sometimes to charge if somebody's coming near you. It there's still a lot of value you get for only 120 points for a Knight Arcanum, but it double priest feels good. So yeah, we don't need a wizard. Let's say we need a wizard less than we needed one last season. I can say that for sure.
Yeah, and this is something about, but we can discuss later. But yeah,
okay.
This is my feeling about this season.
So my quick thoughts on the season are, they feel good, but I don't think it's enough. I think it hasn't gone far enough. It feels like this is how you start an edition. This is where we should have been 1 year ago. And instead or maybe even 6 months ago, like if I'm being generous, like it took too long to get here. And although that it certainly reinvigorated the game, I don't know if it's going to have a lasting effect, because it still will get solved. The metagame will be solved. People will figure out this is the best army. This is the best way to build this army. Some armies are going to play this whole season without a battle tome still. So if you're one of the armies that's getting a battle tome this year, it's going to feel great. The 3 that we've seen recently, plus Nighthaunt and Flesh Eaters, they look like significant changes to your army. There's some power creep. Maybe not like your army's getting stronger, but it's getting more interesting. It's changing in some way, and that's fun and that's exciting. If you've already gotten a battle tome, you have nothing to look forward to. If you're not getting a battle tome this year, and you don't even know if you're getting one this year, there's not like a full roadmap of the year yet. There's going to be a lot of armies that they only get one in the last season. So it's going to be a weird season. I don't think the Scourge Ghyran stuff did enough. And if you really like the Scourge Ghyran stuff, it stings that it's going away in a year, right? Like, this is Games Workshop we're talking about. It would be very logical for them to keep Iridan the Witness with their new War Scroll in the game. Everybody likes the new War Scroll. It's fantastic. It plays really well. It does justice to the character. But Games Workshop is just going to do the dumbest thing possible and just get rid of it in a year, even though everybody loves it. So it stinks, right? Like, especially for people getting into it who are thinking, oh, I want to buy a cool model. This one has great rules, but they're temporary. Like, what is that about? Why is the model only good for a year? So those are my preliminary thoughts, is that the game plays really well. I'm having a lot of fun, but I don't know if it has the staying power it needs to, because there was a lot of negative momentum built up from that Index Hammer. A lot of people got burnt out, and some of them just aren't coming back to the game. They'll need like a new edition to bring them back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel also, since this edition started, the game went to elite, because now we don't have enough or the same quantity of units as before, and that also is impacting in the game. Right now we are living a lot of problems, let's say, trying to adapting our game style to the new quantity of objectives, and also this is forcing to split the units that we have before. Now we need the MSU. We need to take hand of the movement, and we need to take hand of another things that were not so highly considered in the previous season.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, my feeling is this season I prefer this season the double of instead of the previous one. As you have said, I feel that Games Workshop got late to this point, but the good part is that we have a new season with much better mechanics that is more enjoyable than before.
Yeah, no, it's better. It's better. It's less balanced, which we can start talking about. Let's get into the stats here. So all the stats have been provided by Wohammer.com. Fantastic website. They do great articles. I think that's my go-to place for discussion on Warhammer, like from a competitive scene, looking at tournament results, looking at stats, looking at breakdowns. I don't usually like. It's better than some other websites that I won't name, but you guys know which ones I'm thinking about that just do very poor analysis, just very poor quality. Warhammer's not like that. They're actually doing real analysis. They're fantastic. So give them a look if you haven't checked out Warhammer already. Which cat is that, Murgonk?
This is Zelly, and she was crying for some reason, so she probably just wants attention.
Okay. Well, now she's famous.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at some stats. We have a number of sheets here from Warhammer. Let's start by looking at just what armies are people playing. So, of course, this is still early in the season. This data, Luis, this data comes from GTs, right? Not from RTTs?
Correct. It's from GTs.
Okay, so just
Only
GTs.
from GTs.
So the numbers look small, but they are getting larger every single weekend with every new event. Age of Sigmar, of course, isn't the kind of game like 40K where there's, hundreds of GTs in a couple months. That's probably overstated. But yeah, there's a lot bigger sample sizes in 40K. We deal with what we got here in AOS. We can see that Stormcast and Slaves are still the two most popular armies. I don't think that's going to change ever. Like, we're not going to be
big armored people.
Yeah,
entice a lot of people.
Yeah, there's some armies that people just play because they like them. Big armor is one of the archetypes, like aesthetic archetypes that people like. Seraphon is also just always a maybe not the most popular army, but it's like top 5 usually. People just like dinosaurs. Sylvaneth, again, people just like trees. Skaven, I think, are going to be one of those armies that everybody just likes because they're in the starter box. They're being pushed this edition. I think they're always going to be a popular army. I'm surprised to see Nurgle is as popular as it is right now. It's always been like top 10 popularity. I'm really surprised it's as like this many people are playing it. No battle tome. I get like the Scourge stuff is okay. Like Rodigus is interesting, but he's not like a must-have by any means.
I'm surprised OBR is down there where it is because everyone should have that army 4 times over. Like between the back-to-back battle forces and the combat patrol, the Vanguard and Spearhead boxes that they've released.
Yeah.
If you bought one of the new Spearhead, one of the old Spearhead, and both the battle forces for like 600, you'd have the whole army. Like that's just it. Like 500-600, you can play any combination of most of units.
I think there's a big overlap between Bone Reapers players and for some reason cities and daughters. So I think all the Bone Reaper players have switched over to those armies because those armies are really, really, really good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sons of Behemoth will also be fairly popular always. It's such an easy army to play and transport and paint up.
There's like
to me.
Sorry, go ahead.
The reason of this is because doctors, probably Nurgle and another armies are living a kind of new gaming style that is debuffing to the opponent. So we are not counting anymore with the same punch that we. So if we don't have with the same quantity of mortal wounds, we are being punished in our output damage, so feels really bad. So doctors, OBR, Nurgle, they are punishing your output damage. So in that way, they increase their durability. So I suppose this is one of the situation why we have this kind of armies at the top.
Fire Slayers are more popular right now than they have been in a while. They're usually a lot less, like fewer in number. They're usually down there with like Tzeentch in terms of player count. There's not many people playing it, but Fire Slayers for some reason were doing really, really well for the first few weeks. So that's one of the things we can look into. One army I'm surprised isn't higher is Gits. they got a new release. They have a new battle tome. They're just usually a really popular army. So maybe Gitz players are just playing something else, or I don't know. It's just
It could be. I think Gitz players are playing cities and daughters. I think that's. I think that aren't like. If you want to play a hard army, I think they just Gitz still has to play sort of like honest Warhammer, and those armies don't. Like they have a lot of like hero phase moves and hero phase teleports and shooting and just wacky stuff. Gitz isn't wacky enough right now. There's still some dedicated pilots that I think that can do well with it, but it's like I think ultimately you just lose to daughters. You lose to a lot of the armor factions. I think so.
Okay. And armor's popular. The two most popular armies are 3-up saves.
Yeah. Khorne for I think for this reason, like I know after Blood Warriors got that buff, like there are a lot of Khorne players. It's just that the army was very exclusively piloted by those people who liked old Murderlust. And now like that's like gone down a little bit.
Yeah. Khorne's not going to be very popular until their new book comes out, and then people love it. People love running forward and hitting stuff. It's Slaves to Darkness but red and new. So people are going to swap to it. They love playing Bloodthirsters. They love crashing into stuff. That's going to be
their points are also great. Like their points aren't bad at all.
Yeah, for an army with no recursion, they got to be good, right? Like not a single way to return models.
Well, they have recursion. If you play the AR, they have recursion.
But hopefully that gets changed. I'm not even going to consider that as a real thing because none of the other AORs are remotely good. So I don't think that one will be either. And if it is, it's a problem and they'll fix it. Which is a shame, honestly. I wouldn't mind if AORs were good. Because the game just needs more options, more choices.
I mean, I think it's good. I just think it's a little too good. Like, you could keep rolling. 4-up wards on 3+ saves are already pretty good. But then to have
a 5-up
unlimited recursion.
Yeah, unlimited revive.
Yeah, I'd almost want it to be a 4-up, but once per game for each hero or whatever.
Just first time they die, guaranteed you don't die. And then that's it. Yeah. No limit is so stupid. It's going to be dumb. All right, so we looked at which armies are in the game, and let's take a look at the win rates now. So, to absolutely nobody's surprise, Daughters of Khaine and Cities of Sigmar come out busted as heck. Like, we predicted this back in the June Battle Scroll live stream we did. We said if there's two armies that look like they're ridiculously busted, it's going to be Daughters and Cities, right? We didn't make any claims that they were for sure overpowered. We were waiting for data, and we have the data, and they're too good. Daughters of Khaine are putting way too many bodies on the table. It's just, and then they have recursion with Krethissa, and then they can also return models with that one battle formation, and then they have all these cheap little chaff units running around too, and then they still get like 2 or 3 cauldrons. They just have so much stuff. Their army was really bad, and they kept getting buffs to their points, and then they gave them ridiculously good rules, and then now you have really, really cheap army with really, really good rules. It's not a surprise that it's this powerful.
Yeah, plus all their Witch Elf blocks are amazing hammers because like you look at their profile, it's like, oh, but you don't remember Krethissa is making them move in the hero phase, after which they can run and charge, hopefully with Steed of Shadows. Plus they disable your commands.
Yeah.
Plus Krethissa is always gonna get the enhanced version of that buff because I want to say she gets like D3 ritual points, I think, every hero phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's only in the opponent's hero phase. But yeah.
Oh sure.
I mean,
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they have a lot of abilities that they can trigger in every single phase, even in the opponents. That practically is really a complete army. They can do but all the things that has been mentioned, Mirka. And right now feels the elves feels really good because they have the 5-up ward in the combat phase if they have no fight. The recursion of these units is really high, and the cost is for a reinforced unit you spend only 220. So you have 80 witches in your table, and also you still have the heroes, and you have another 3 the room for another 3 units. In some cases, some roosters are using to the Shadow Stalkers, and others are using to the Khaine. But you have a lot of mobility after you can recover or you can fulfill the anvil and the hammer in your units.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's an amazing moment for Doctors of Khaine.
We've talked about this playstyle for daughters with the disposable witch bomb. We talked about it in third edition, and I guess players never really came around to it. Maybe it just wasn't good enough. We talked about it at the start of this edition, and it's still not good enough. And now it's finally good enough because there was a number of things holding that playstyle back. Right, paper thin defenses, no recursion, run in charge with 6-inch movement wasn't fast enough. It was fast, but it wasn't fast enough. Right, like if you're not charging turn 1, you're slow. And that army couldn't charge turn 1. It was a slow army. And when you're paper thin and you have no recursion and you're slow, you just die and that's it, right? And then shooting was the fourth big weakness. And then in this season, they've gotten rid of the shooting problem, they've gotten rid of the recursion problem, and they've gotten rid of the speed problem because now they get an extra 6-inch move in the hero phase. So they've fixed 3 of the 4 fundamental issues that were holding that playstyle back. And now it's like, you could have fixed 1 and this army would be good. You didn't have to fix 3 of them.
Yeah. Also, the MSU doesn't really matter for them when you have so much stuff on the board. Like, that's something they'll only consider if they don't have points to spare. But if you have 4 screens that can also just move 12 or teleport themselves and, do tactics or snipe away objectives, why would you bother splitting up Witch Elves into MSU?
Yeah, and they can, right? Like, that's with Mind Razor and buffs and everything, 10 witches still pump out a lot of damage. They hit like a reinforced hammer from another army, which is crazy for a 100-point unit to get that high.
Plus, they have so many debuffs. Yeah, -1 to hit is pretty easy to get. -1 to wound is pretty easy to get from that endless spell. So, like, attacking them, it's a glass hammer, but a lot of times when you hit that Sisters of Slaughter screen, I say screen, that unit can also pump out crazy damage. If they have a reinforced unit of Sisters of Slaughter, you will be -1 to hit, and most of the cases -1 to wound, because they'll have that Heart of Khaine spell hanging out nearby.
Yeah, because as you have mentioned, every unit, every reinforced unit there are covering everything from are covering the anvil, are covering the same, and the same unit is amazing how they are turning from anvil to hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have one of the cauldrons assigning +1 to attack characteristics, and if you're in stock with them, you have -1 to hit, -1 to wound, -1 to everything. So it's really tough.
Yeah. It skews the dice just enough that then the 5-up wards keep them alive. So even though we're talking about them as a glass hammer, they're really not. They're actually effective health monsters. Like it's like Night Haunt, right? Except instead of a -1 hit, -1 wound, they have 4-up saves that are ethereal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also the synergy with the heroes, in this case with the cauldrons that are given +1 to save if they are in the 9 inches aura, and also to the well-known war scroll of the new hero. I forgot the name. Yeah, Getrasa. She's buffing the army really, really good, and the prayers are in 3s and 4s, so it's very easy to get them done. Mm-hmm. So whatever you are playing, in the moment that you are getting stuck in combat with these units, you are in troubles. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem with facing Doctors of Khaine. They are hitting you. They are not allowing you to create some more damage on their units, and if they are charging you, they can remove your units, your hammers or your anvils. So that's a problem.
I think we've got a spotlight on daughters later. We can talk more about them. But yeah, they're just 64% is way too high, and this is starting to be a sample size where that's a credible number. Cities, again, 59% is overpowered. I think the only thing holding cities back right now is daughters, ironically. Because the cannons just don't do enough.
Yep, they don't kill the daughters fast enough.
Yeah. And Cavaliers just die. Like, it doesn't matter how tough you make Cavaliers, they'll still die to witches that are buffed up.
Oh yeah, a fully Witch Elf unit, output something like 86 damage or something
It's
into that
absurd.
save.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So
Yeah.
Cities is aside from that matchup, they're doing really, really well because I think part of it is adjustment to what Cities does now, and they should rename the faction Pontifex Zenestra and Friends because every single list has Zenestra now. There's no like which units you bring might change, but it's usually triple free guild, command core, and then some amount of Cavaliers, new or old, and then some amount of cannons, and then like that's it. That's a list, right? So it's pretty mono. I feel like people are going to hone in on what the mono build will be pretty soon. Like give it another 3 weeks, and people will figure out what the Cities list is, and that'll be the list they run until it get nerfed. Zenestra is just too good, like way too good. She has the
I would
impact.
say Cavaliers are too good too.
Well,
like
if Cavaliers can be
for
good.
Their points.
Oh sure, yeah.
Well, it's
they
like
might
you
be a bit
can't
too
leave
efficient.
the unit. Yeah, like you can't like if the normal shitty Cavalier is 160, the new one cannot be 160. It avoids the main weakness of that shitty one, and they're basically the same points.
People are still using the old ones too, though, because they just have more attacks and damage is utility. So like it's not like the old ones are bad, but yeah, 160 is too low. It's like imagine if Stormstrike Paladors were 160 and could guaranteed get a 5-up ward. Like, yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
Or it could be teleported from anywhere on the board, like and there or basically not have the charge stipulation. Like if they're in combat, like if a warrior champion unit has died, this unit counts as having charged all the time. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and you're pinning something completely out of your aura, completely out of your castle with the gaps, and then you are recover them into the safety position with Zenestra. So, and after you are pinning something, you are shooting with the 3 cannons, 3 or 2 cannons, and wow, oh my gosh, this is something really tough because in the moment that you are presenting war machines, or you are presenting something with a play keyword or monster keyword, sorry, in that moment you need to take care of the distance of the cannons. It doesn't matter at the end if they are moving slow or they are really slow. In the moment that you are getting it to the center or trying to approach the center, you are living a really painful moment with those cannons.
Yep. Cities is just not fun to play against. I really hope I think Zenestra can't. She has the impact of like a god model. She plays like a Teclis, but she costs like a Vigilant on Morgriff.
She plays like a Croak. I think it's more appropriate. Like Croak, nobody fears Croak in melee, but just him casting spells and doing his stuff is just so impactful that he's like, what is Croak, like 400 something?
460, 480.
Yeah, and this is a 4-up ward unit that is like 240. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
she could be 300 if people would take her.
And it's not just her prayer. Like, if she just had her prayer, I would say, you know what? She's strong. She's worth it. She does literally nothing but her prayer. Fine. But she also has this D6 mortal wound blast on anything within 18 inches in both hero phases. What the heck were they thinking with that? That's so stupid. That's just I
get to Arcane Bolt. I get to Prime Electric Arcane Bolts every hero and wizard. If it was 12, I'd be like, okay, 12 makes sense. It's like the Veritant thing, okay? She just like punishes any wizard trying to get close to her. 18, it's a gun. It's a straight up gun.
Yeah.
It's like a long strike crossbow shooting you.
Like in your hero phase, before you have a chance to move. So you can just run into range and then start sniping.
The good thing is that she doesn't need to see or to have visual contact.
Doesn't need visibility either.
So exactly. So she's really good. But she's probably to me in the top 10 abilities.
Top 3.
She's the number 1 of top 3. Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. She didn't need that ability. If she was just a prayer bot, she'd be really good because she's Priest 2 and she has this great signature prayer that has a built-in reroll. Like, it's just fantastic. She's so good, and then that puts her over the top. With that, because she's not just a defensive tactical piece.
She's a War Master. She is a War Master.
Yeah, which doesn't matter.
Like, no, I mean, it couldn't, but I'm like, it sometimes does, and it's like, what's the tax? Like, where do we get the tax on this?
What's the downside of Zenestra? Right?
Yeah, what's the downside? Like, what made you guys think this is a 240 point unit? Just the combat profile? Like, what?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, in comparison with points, we have
we can talk more about cities later. We've got a spotlight on them. And we've also got a spotlight on Kruleboyz, Lumineth. Sorry, not Lumineth. Soulblight, and I think that was it. Those are the 4 armies we decided to focus on. So we'll talk more about them later. There's a lot to say. Kruleboyz, I don't think surprised us. I think a lot of people have been surprised, but I don't think we were surprised because we knew just how good Kruleboyz was getting, and the point cuts were like way more than necessary. They went too far with the point cuts. And then the Scourge of Ghyran rules were also very generous to them. The new subfaction that gives you +1 attack on Gut Rippas, basically, is just crazy strong. It's a 50% multiplier on a unit that needs a critical mass of damage in order to do anything meaningful. And it's like, okay, well, now all of a sudden you have 40 health blocks of infantry that can give an enemy strike last and have, what is that? 3 attacks per model times 20, 60 attacks, 61 attacks with crit mortals on 5s. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
correct.
What survives that? What can possibly survive that? And the counterplay to it is if you don't have strike first in your army, there's no counterplay, or like some way to negate the strike last. Like you just because you can't shoot them anymore in obscuring season. So they went too far with Kruleboyz. I think I'm fine with all the rules. It's just the points need to go up now, right? Like Night Haunt. It's starting to feel like Night Haunt at the start of 4th edition. There's just too much stuff on the table.
I feel like they do this every time with Kruleboyz. There's always some dedicated Kruleboyz players. Like I know like Rob can always pilot them well. It's always been, for some weird reason, this really high like Tzeentch level high skill ceiling army. And then every time they just keep dropping the points and it gets so degenerate, then suddenly every spike picks it up at once and now it's like at 57. But it's like this what when people talk about how like when Stormcast is really at 48 and we're like Stormcast is not in a great spot, or it's like, oh no, it's being brought down by like the bad players because if you're a spike you can still do well with Stormcast. Nobody says that about Kruleboyz, even though it's true.
Yeah, there is a very high skill floor to make Kruleboyz work. It's one of those armies. But unlike Tzeentch, it's actually popular. People like playing Kruleboyz because it was one of the starter armies. Tzeentch is like super complex, super hard to play, and not popular. So you get like when Tzeentch is good, there's like 3 people who bring the win rate up to like 60% on their backs alone. They get it up that high. And when Tzeentch is bad, it's still like, 47. That's the lowest Tzeentch has been in a long time, and it still feels like a not that bad of an army. Like Deep can feel Deep can feel better than Tzeentch does right now, and Deep can are at 42%. I feel like they should be higher. Yeah. So Kruleboyz is too much stuff. We'll talk about them specifically later. Kharadron, it's not really worth talking about Kharadron. Their new book comes out in a week. These stats are like meaningless, right? That's just gone. Lumineth, I don't see why Lumineth is doing well, but that's because Stormcast are basically just better Lumineth, right? We do the same thing but better. We have better mobility, we have better options, we have faster units, we have shootier units, we have 3-up saves that are basically that's basically
I don't know what Lumineth even got for Scourge of Ghyran.
They got the foot field sergeant, right? So you don't have to run Speed of Fish anymore. You can just run Field Sergeant, and then you have a bunch of Blade Masters move up 8 inches, and you can spam a bunch of Blade Masters because you can give them the banner for +1 save. So now they're 3-up saves effectively with -1 hit. So they're tough blocks, and then you just overwhelm them with numbers. Yeah, it's Daughters of Khaine but worse because you just do a lot less damage.
Okay. I mean, I have faced to Lumineth with the list that they are included with the big cow and the 2 big units of hammers. Oh god, it's really painful to play against.
Actually, that. No, Paul, that makes sense. Like Stoneguard get a lot better if you can't shoot them.
Their problem's always been the 4-inch move, and this season playing tactically with Stoneguard is really hard because when you're on one of those missions with like an objective here and an objective like down here, it's like Stoneguard aren't doing anything there. So I'm really surprised that they're at 57%. I'd be curious to know more about that. Yeah.
Maybe they're leaning more into like if they can't be shot, the army does get better. It's a 4-up save army for the most part.
Well, 3-up with the banner and then -1 hit. So they're like they're a tough 3-up save army.
Okay. Oh yeah, +1 to save for Venari infantry.
Yeah.
Actually, that makes sense. That actually makes perfect sense why they're doing well. Okay, so that plus obscured plus their -1 to hit.
And the 5-up ward from being near a scenario. Yeah. Like you just create 2 blocks of Blade Masters, and they move up the board and they're tough to shift. And I don't know what they bring for flanks though, because Dawn Riders are such a trap unit in that army. They always get charged first. They never get to do anything meaningful. I don't know. Surprised. I guess we'll have to look up some Lumineth lists after that. Night Haunter here. Mm-hmm. Night Haunter busted. Like they're way better than 57. I think they're they're up there with Daughters and Cities right now. Is like top 3 armies right now are Cities, Daughters, Night Haunt. Not in that order, but like Night Haunt's definitely up there.
Actually, I would say SBG gets before Night Haunt, but Night Haunt is in the top 5.
I don't know. I think Night Haunt's better than Soulblight right now, but it won't matter because in like a month it's just gone.
Yeah, it's just hopefully,
hopefully a month. Yeah. Any other standouts? It's worth noting that there's like a big power gap. There's like 5 or 6 armies that are really good, and then everything else is like struggling for scraps. It feels like there's like a big gap between these armies. So
I mean, if you look between Sons of Behemoth and like Night Haunt or like Ogres, it's like a 5% difference.
It's a significant.
It's going to 2%. Yeah.
To be honest, I am surprised of the position right now with Ogres, because I didn't expect that.
I'm not at all. They essentially have better. They have a version of Murderlust that counts as them having been charged with a 3-inch combat range. Like they're basically playing it's like, remember the riposte style we used to have, like where we used to position Liberators and then 2-inch like troops behind. That's what they have. You will never have enough damage unless you're Daughters of Khaine to kill all the meat in front of you, and then whatever's behind will just kill you, or the Ogre Gluttons will kill you.
Well, it's usually like a Noblar screen in front, and then they'll counter charge within 3 inches of the front line, and then they'll count as having charged, and then you won't have enough models in range to hit them. You'll kill the Noblars maybe, and then the Ogres just like consume you. Yeah, it's what's making that army win is just high health counts more than anything else. Like the damage Ogres do is fine. It's like it's not crazy like Daughters. They're not teleporting around like Stormcast or Cities. They're not making you strike last like Kruleboyz. They don't have any tricks. They're playing honest Warhammer, but they just have so much health. It's just an absurd amount of hit points.
Yeah.
Okay. Seraphon, hopefully Thunderquake starts to bring those numbers up. Stormcast 46. I think Stormcast is better than 46, but I always think it's better than 46. I think it's new season effect. Like we always take time to adjust our lists. I think we should probably be at least 50. Like we're not a sub 50 army right now, even in this meta. With
I would say we're 50, but I think it's like a strangling effect, like the top 5 armies are having. Like we have tools against Kruleboyz. Cities is a difficult matchup. Night Haunt is an extremely difficult matchup for us.
The big dice swings make Night Haunt very hard.
Yeah, we don't have volume anymore, not the way we used to with Castigators. And having we like basically if they even roll average or above average, their 4-up saves, we're dead.
Yeah. It really does come down to that. You have to play tactically very well, and then you just get screwed over by a dice spike on the saves. It feels really bad.
Yeah. And even Daughters now is rolling up with 5-up wards. They're taking that sub-faction where I've seen some lists where it's like that sub-faction where if they haven't fought, they have a 5-up ward.
Very common one, yep. I think we can win into Daughters, we can win into Cities, and we have actually one of the better matchups into Kruleboyz. I think Stormcast are one of the better armies to deal with them. It is the Night Haunt matchup that's really bad for us. Yeah, it is strangling us right now.
Mm-hmm. I'll say Kruleboyz is also pretty bad because we can never. I don't know. We struggle with the armies that just have too much stuff. Yeah. Or a Ruination Chamber.
Like Ruination Chamber or Storm Drakes or Tempesters or Quicksilver Draft. Like there's lots of ways to play around the Kruleboyz for us. And we focus one unit at a time. They don't have recursion. What makes Daughters of Khaine one of the tougher matchups is the recursion. It's not like we can kill their whole army and we can trade well, but then they're just bringing half of it back to life. And that is just really obnoxious. If we had some way to kill...
I'm actually quite surprised. Yeah. I'm quite surprised so many armies are getting recursion, but it's not limited at all. Like,
Yeah.
why does Kruthuza get unlimited recursion? I don't know.
Why did Kruthuza needs a cost increase for sure. That army's too efficient, and it's because of her. So just make her cost more. Yeah. Okay, let's go into some more stats here. Percentage of wins. So this is starting to break down like what armies are actually winning. Like in the blue column and blue bars, you can see that that's armies that have 4+ wins. You can see the army that's winning the most. That's not the right way to put it. The army that's getting the most for. The army that's going to 4 wins most often is Daughters of Khaine, right? Fireslayer surprisingly up there as well. Cities of Sigmar up there as well. Fireslayer is listed twice, it looks like. That's odd. That's a peculiarity.
When you say 4 wins, are you talking about 4-0 or just any way to 4 wins?
I don't think this is 4 in a row. I think this is 4 wins of any kind. Yeah. I think 4. Okay. I think because that would be, there's a different term for that. It's like in position. There's a specific term for that. What you're talking about to go 4-0. Yeah, Kruleboyz are up there, right? 24%. Where's Stormcast on here? Oh no, 11%. But Stormcast are like, if you actually look at the spread of how many games should be in each bucket there, it's actually looking about right. Like, if your army is well balanced, most of the army will be in the some spread between 3 and 2. Right? The more you have in that bucket, the more balanced your army is. There will be high-performing players on either side. You'll have, if your army's well-designed, you'll have about 10% of the army doing really well, about 10% of the army just doing very poorly, and then the other 80% will be somewhere in the middle. And that's pretty much where Stormcast are from these numbers. We're a bit on the lower side, right? 40% are going 2 wins, so hopefully... I mean, to me, that signals we're going to get buffs, which is great. That means, once these top dogs are nerfed and Stormcast get buffed, then we can really start to dominate the meta again like we did last season. Disciples of Tzeentch have such a low sample size that some of them are just going 0 wins. 1/5 of them are going 0 wins because the sample size is that low. That's hilarious. Big Wah, 1 player. He won 3 games. Good job.
Yeah, in this case, we can see sometimes looks like there's no high correlation between the previous chart and the new one, but feels like Stormcast is about the rookies versus the experienced guys. So, because if we are considering that we are the most preferred faction in the game, we should know also what is the quantity of the rookies players that is also participating in the GTs. But anyway, this is something that we need also to consider.
Yeah, we definitely are always weighed down by the rookie factor. We're the perpetual starter army. We're in every starter box. People will roll up with, I bought Scaventide and Spearhead. Here's my list. Let's play a game. Because GTs are not all people who are trying to be as competitive as possible. Some people just use it as a way to go out and play 5 games over a weekend. Have a beer, roll some dice, hang out with the boys. That's what Warhammer is to a lot of people. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's actually the best way to play Warhammer. So, I salute those people. Those are the best kind of people to meet at those events. And unfortunately, that has a knockdown effect on our win rate. Or maybe fortunately, because we get buffs, right? if Stormcast is a faction, you just look at it in terms of win rate, and they're lowering our win rate. That's ultimately good for us, because I think Stormcast feel really good right now. Like, the Beacon of Azir is ridiculously good, and the more I play with it, the better it gets. Like, you can make plays that you could never make before. Having guaranteed translocate is a complete game changer.
Yeah, correct. It's good for all to keep this win rate if we are pretending to be competitive, and with the most experienced Stormcast players, I suppose that is the better.
Let's take a look at battle formation win rates. Luis, why is there only like not even 10 on this list? Is there just not enough data, or are these like the most popular ones? Like, what's going on?
This is something that I need to ask to Peter, but this is the information that he's posting. To be honest, I don't know what is the reason, but this is one of the most popular factions.
Okay, I assume it's something
Well,
like you have to pass 100 games because none of these are below 3 digits. So maybe it's like all the battle formations with over 100 games, and these are the win rates. I mean, Cauldron Guard is up there. I'm pretty sure that's the one that gives you a 5-up board if you haven't fought.
No, Cauldron Guard is the one that it's the one that at the end of your Witch Elves do the Saurus Pylon and D3 Mortal Wound thing at the end of every turn.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, correct.
You pick 3 Cauldrons or Witch Elf or Sisters of Slaughter units, and they pylon and do D3 Mortals at the end of the turn.
Interesting. Yeah. Why is that one so popular? It's winning. But...
This army doesn't have a lot of mortal wounds, and it gives you it's better than you think because, like I said, they're -1 to hit, -1 to wound.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not easy to kill them.
Oh, I guess.
Then they just pile in and do mortal wounds.
And when you survive and you get into the next turn, like your opponent doesn't kill you on the charge because you've got all these debuffs stacked up, and then you get to deal D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, it's like a Suncloud in sort of.
And so if you have like a Cauldron with Sister of Slaughter, you can easily just pile in and be like, D3. So it adds up, especially if it's at the end of both turns.
It is, yeah, end of any turn, yeah. Kruleboyz are running the +1 attack thing. That's no surprise. Like that's going to be in every single list, I think. The Bacchanal of Blood for Soulblight.
That's the only playable one.
It's the only playable one. The rest of that book is just not good enough yet, or maybe the Bacchanal lists are so like Vordry, Blood Knights, Barrow Knights. That's the list, basically.
I mean, what else would you take? I mean, +1 to cast is +1 to wound in combat and +1 to cast when you're not in combat. Like, no downsides.
I haven't done an in-depth look at the Soulblight book, but the impression I get is that there's poor internal balance to the point where there's only a few playable units, and because of that, everything else kind of gets lumped into that bucket,
Yeah, if you're not playing some combination of Vordry, Vengorian Lord, and Blood Knights, you're probably not going to do well. Rest of the army's like fairly slow or doesn't do enough damage. And Vordry, like we went all this way to reduce 6-inch pylons from the game, and they just gave them 6-inch pylon. So
yeah, it's cool. We're just going to bring back every mechanic we got rid of over the last edition.
Yeah. And he has strike first. So
yeah, of course.
Or he can get strike first.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how these stats change as we get more armies in that 100+ game for each battle formation. The thing with battle formations is some armies, they're totally defining how you play, right? Like Thunderquake Starhost is list defining. And then sometimes you get like Stormcast where you have Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels where maybe 2 units in your army can benefit from it. Sometimes just 1. So I'm not sure how relevant this information is going to be going forward.
Yeah, I hate our battle formations. I'm sorry. Like the chamber system is stupid. Like, oh, I have a battle formation just for 2 units in my army. Oh, you have a battle formation that benefits 80% of the units in your army. Okay.
Well, they designed Stormcast to mix chambers, which is frankly just wrong narratively. That's just not how Stormcast approach battle. We don't bring a mix of Vanguard and Sacrosanct and Extremist to battle. Chambers are within their chamber, right? Like you've got like Strike Chambers, Harbinger Chambers, Exemplar Chambers. These fight together, and then they'll call in another chamber to come assist them. It's not like, oh yeah, bring some long strikes with you, Bastion. That's cool. It's not right. And the rules just don't reflect how Stormcast actually fight, which is weird.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I forgot. The +1 to wound for vampire units isn't just for heroes. It's +1 to casting if you're a vampire unit. Yeah, insane battle formation. I mean, yeah.
Okay, taking a look.
Sentinels, yeah, I expected that because people love running prosecutors and 12 reclusians or whatever. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Vanguard Wing just is not good. So
yeah,
I don't think the battle formation means anything for Stormcast. Like it's going to be list dependent. It doesn't, like, the battle formation won't determine anything.
Also, the Ruination Chamber is new. That's what's popular because most people, if they get into Stormcast now, will likely have more Ruination units than, say, Dracothian Guard. So makes sense for them to lean into Sentinels.
All right, next up, looking at player skill by army. This is what we were talking about. Like Stormcast have a disproportionate number of rookies compared to other armies. So looking at this chart, you can see the one with the absolute highest percentage is Blades of Khorne with 27%. So this is so Khorne is a weird army because there's some players who just want to play Khorne as the blood god with cannibal hordes of reavers and blood warriors and berserkers, and they want to just smash and kill and maim and burn. And then there's people who are like, no, I don't want that. I want murderlust. I want to do combat tricks. I want to do precise movements because for some reason, he's the god of dancing instead of the god of war and bloodshed.
Yeah, they're like, I want to play Tzeentch, but red.
So, like, I feel for those people that their battle tome is being taken away from them, effectively. But, like, come on, man. That's not how the army should have played from day one. It should have never played that way. That would be like if Stormcast were 100% a shooting army, right? And, like, we've got all these cool melee models. Imagine if they just did nothing and all Stormcast did was spam shooting. It just wouldn't be right. It wouldn't fit the models.
That top distribution is crazy, though. Like, Tzeentch, I always expected. Tzeentch always has elite people playing it.
That's normal for Tzeentch. Yeah.
Yeah. But cities having less, like 7% rookies, everyone else is elite. Daughters having 9, everyone else is elite.
You can see where the top players are going with this chart, right? Like, if you look at the proportion of elite and rookies, that's like, okay, well, what do the top players think is good? And they think cities is good. They think, well, Tzeentch is Tzeentch. It's always an outlier. But daughters, they think is good. Nighthaunt is good. Ogres have the leanest army distribution. Like, it's almost all pros playing ogres right now, which is going to skyrocket their win rates. Yeah, other rookie favorite armies like Stormcast, obviously we talked about that. Khorne, and then Seraphon are another one. People just love dinosaurs. They want to play dinosaurs.
Which really tells me Kruleboyz win rate is probably higher than it is. Because if it has like an even distribution between rookies and non-rookies playing it with a 57% win rate, that army is way better than 57%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Kruleboyz, due to the mix that we have 21 and 21, doesn't affect too much the no experience with this because they have a lot of mechanics that are make it easier the playability with Kruleboyz. I mean, you have mentioned they are creating a big high volume of damage and also mortal wound damage, so it's really kind of hard to face that combo in Kruleboyz. Not all the armies has a formula to face it, so it doesn't matter at the end if you are rookie or not. And the moment that you are counting with these kind of tools in your army, they reduce the punishment about your no experience playing with this army.
Another crazy thing to think about with Kruleboyz is that they still have to roll the right dice. Like their trick system is still very random, so they can just lose games because
it's less random now.
It's less random, but it's still random. Yeah. It's like 2-up translocates. Like, yeah, they're good, they're reliable, but they're not reliable enough.
I don't know about that. Those effects are really strong.
No, I'm saying like their win rate is that high and they're overcoming that randomness that sometimes will just lose you a game.
I still think like that Kragnos and then the what was it called? The two big pig AOR from Iron Jaws. Or ROR, my bad.
Yeah, we're not seeing that much anymore.
Yeah, I think Kragnos is still like a shoo-in in Kruleboyz. Like, it's like a great hammer unit that can put strike class on something.
Yeah, I think he just gets shot now. That's his problem. People still bring enough shooting to kill Kragnos. He's 18 health on a 4-up save. Everything has ward reduction now, especially with that new KO regiment that's coming out, which we haven't mentioned that yet, right? Like, that's going to get changed for sure. There's no way that's going out into the world.
Well, points have to go up, I feel like.
It's 300 points to teleport any infantry unit and reduce wards and have somewhat decent shooting. Oh my god.
Or just bomb objectives. They can just pick an objective and be like, D3.
All of the above. It's such... It's Callus and Toll who? Like, no, I'm not playing them anymore. Like, no way. I got this new one. It's going to be nuts. Can you only bring one regiment of renown? Can you bring multiple? Can you just do Callus?
No, you can bring one.
Okay.
You're not allowed. Just one.
The only thing that I would like to emphasize is Norgold. Norgold has 17% of the rookies in comparison with the 10% of the
Elites. Yeah.
experienced guys.
Yeah.
So for the position that they are, and also for considering the quantity of players, I suppose that there's something in Norwood that make it easier than the other armies to be playable. But that's
Oh,
it.
it's just a very solid, honest Warhammer army. It's just you move your guys up. They're all 3-up save or 4-up save, 5-up ward. If you roll your wards, you just kill them. Like they come to you and you fight and you kill them. And it's honest Warhammer. If your stats are good enough, can just buff your win rate up to a good amount. 3-up save, 5-up wards with Blight Kings is just good. It's just a good stat to have.
Yeah, sure.
It's like no matter
Agree
how
with you.
low our win rate gets, there are people who will always eke out, even rookies will eke out wins if they just ran like, I don't know, 12 prosecutors and 12 reclusians or something.
Questers.
Like at some point, yeah, sure. It's like at some point, it's like that army it's like a check, and it's like if you cannot beat that, then you're not going to go beyond them.
Yeah. The problem is that ogres just do it better
Reclusion.
right now.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. Taking a look at army win rates, standardized versus ELO. So when you flatten all the ELO down, what do army win rates look like? This is kind of an interesting one because you'll notice there's nothing that's overpowered. Isn't that strange? When everybody's at the same ELO, like same skill level, which is somewhere in the middle, right? It's not like one of the elite players, which I think are listed as 500 plus. So if you're looking at like for average players, what does the game look like? You know, Daughters of Khaine, Kruleboyz, cities. Where are cities on here? Oh, down here, 50%. So that one's surprising to me. So cities requires a high skilled player to get the most out of them.
Yep.
Whereas
they have to know what to teleport where.
Yeah. Daughters, Kruleboyz, Night Haunt are having a lot more success, even like regardless of skill level. Interesting. Very interesting. Stormcast also need a very skilled player in order to take advantage of them. How about
Blades
that?
of Khorne?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. You have to be
because with that, before their new tome, you have to be like a Tzeentch player to be able to get the most out of them.
And look, they're right down there with Tzeentch.
And Tzeentch is right next to it. Tzeentch right next to it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but Tzeentch is strange. Yeah, but
Tzeentch is good. I don't know if you saw Tacoma. We have a local, Cameron Swanson. He took Tzeentch and he had like a Birdemic shock and terror list where he was just like just running just crap tons of Zangors and then 2 birds or something. They're good now. Zangors are just good now.
Mm-hmm. It's just high wound density, 2 health model, 20.
Yeah, they've come down enough. Yep.
There's a lot of armies that are doing that now. Reinforced infantry. All right, let's talk about Tacoma Open. This is an interesting one because there's not that many GW official sponsored events. And this one also had some interesting errata that has now become official, which is cool. So it's kind of like a preview of the next month, right? Because these guys were all playing with the same rule set, which is the rule set that we have available to us now. Minor changes, things like you can't covering fire onto manifestations. There's a bunch of other stuff in there that I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you saw the FAQ this week, all that stuff was part of this packet. And the top 8 here, the first 3 players all got 5-0, and then everybody else on this list got 4-1. Not sure the order of that necessarily, but I like the format for prizing where if you go 5-0, you get a trophy. There's no need for tiebreakers. Yeah. There's no need for secondary scoring. We don't need to count victory points. You won 5 games in a row. That's all anybody cares about, right? So yeah, that's cool.
Give him a ticket, send him home. Yep.
Yeah. Top 8 is still fun to look at, but what really matters is the people who went 5-0. Or more accurately, the people who went 4-0. That's what I'm most interested in, right? Because winning 4 games in a row is like the high mark of skill. 5th game in a row is like, okay, there's a lot of luck. To win 5 games in a row, you have to get very lucky, at least a little bit in every game. So 4-0 is usually my standard. All right, but top 8. The whole event, I guess, was won by Soulblight. So Soulblight got 5-0, Daughters of Khaine went 5-0, and Ogre Maw Tribes all went 5-0. we can call them all first place. Like I said, there's no need for tiebreakers. I'm not sure what the tiebreakers were. It doesn't really matter. These were the 3 winners of the event. And then it was cities, 2 more Soulblights, Tzeentch, and Nighthaunt. If Nighthaunt wasn't about to get a new book, I would say the next event would probably be we just get rid of all these armies that aren't Daughters of Khaine, Cities of Sigmar, and Nighthaunt. Top 8 is just those 3 armies. That's what it will be. If nothing changes, that's the direction the game's going. Soulblight will get pushed out. Daughters of Khaine will push Soulblight out of the top 8, I think.
Eventually, yes. I think the only problem is like what's called hobby lag. I think Soulblight is just way easier to paint up than Daughters of Khaine is.
Yeah, and people just love the models too. Nobody's going to go out and buy 100 witches for the next year only, right?
60 witch elves, I want to say 60 witch elves, which is like the base of that list alone, will run you about $400. And $400, you could probably buy the entire Soulblight army.
Yeah. Do you remember first and second edition where that was the meta for Daughters? It was like 3x30
90 witch elves.
And then Marathi. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And you still had a cauldron back then. God, everything was so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Armies felt
you
like
had cauldron and you had Shinaraya.
Yeah, we are not seeing at this moment the data from the RTTs, but in the RTTs is surprising that there are a lot of events that has been using in the research to Marathi, at least one cauldron and to Katrusha. So this is a complete different profile of roster against the GTs, and the GTs is always 2 cauldrons.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that even with Marathi, they are still winning at least 3 in a row. So, but this is something different, but what we are seeing. Yeah.
Well, it takes time for AOS. I always say it takes about 3 months for the meta to adapt to a change properly, and we're in that. We're right on schedule. Like we're about 2 months into it. The next month, and then we get another battle scroll. Like we'll be fully adapted, and then boom, they update the game again. For some reason, the AOS competitive community just takes longer to churn through changes. You play 40k and it's like new data slate comes out, boom, meta's shifted. Everybody's already adjusted their lists. Next, like the very next Saturday, there's a GT and everybody's already got like the new spam thing. Like it's crazy how fast.
I think that's because of the nature of. Well, the thing is like hobby lag in AOS is more real than in 40k because in 40k, the minute something good comes out or before realizing it, you know the rule of 3 exists. So you just go out and buy 3 of them.
3 of everything.
Units, at least. Yeah. Whereas in AOS, you don't know. No. Like, should I buy 30 Cavaliers or 60 Cavaliers? You know?
There's also a lot more money involved in 40k competitive play. People make they make careers out of, competitive YouTube channels just teaching people how to play 40k. And so, like, they have a vested interest in it, which means they're going to go out and do these sorts of things. Whereas AOS feels more hobby focused. It's like, I'm doing this because it's fun. I don't want to go out and buy. I mean, some people will buy 90 witches or whatever, but how many people actually want a collection of that many witches?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, in AOS, we are married with sometimes with one army. You don't need to be a meta chaser in the most part of the cases, but obviously there are people that in EOS that is following the meta chasing. But anyway, I prefer AOS than 40k.
I don't want to spam night judicators. 2 is enough.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the top 4 placing lists. Whatever, it doesn't matter, but the whole secondary thing. But let's take a look at the 5-0 lists, and then we'll take a look at the cities list that came in 4th. So the first place list that was Soulblight was Bacchanal of Blood. Get used to that, Soulblight players. That's the only one you're going to see. Aetherwrought Machineries, because it costs 0 points, and most lists are coming in at 1990 or 2000. They just don't have the points to spend on stuff like that. And then Battle Tactics, again, these are 2 common choices, Intercept and Recover, and Restless Energy. So I personally don't like Intercept and Recover. I especially don't like it on this list, because it feels like it's very much a win more kind of thing. Both the Battle Tactics here are win more, right? Like what this player is trying to do, I think. I know there's an interview with him on a coach. He's just trying to kill you. He's trying to run you over, right? This is Iron Jaws, but death. Just trying to run through you, run over you, kill everything. And probably will work most of the time. I think it's going to have it's going to hit some walls, and it's just not going to be able to get through, and then the battle tactics will become a liability because you just won't be able to score them against some wall lists. Like Blood Knights don't fly. That's a crucial weakness of this unit, is that they don't fly. So if somebody just goes first, they do. With the
over infantry.
Over infantry, but isn't that's the end of the turn ability, right?
That is a charge ability.
Oh, it's charge.
So they can fly over screens. So they can literally hop over your screens and they do D3 to anything they move over.
Okay, but not to beast. There's surprisingly a decent number of beast screens in the game right now.
Actually, let me pull that word scroll up. But I think you're right. Yeah, it's not beasts.
But still, they have to finish the charge. Like, they can't move over it, right? They charge and they finish the charge within half an inch of that unit. You're still stopping the unit from getting past the halfway point of the battlefield.
Actually, it's the passive. It's any move ability. So when this unit moves, it can pass through any infantry, and it can pass through combat ranges of enemy infantry units, but cannot end a move in combat unless charge is used.
Okay, so
it can do that.
10-inch move though, right?
10-inch move. 12.
Okay.
12.
12. Okay, they're faster than I thought. I can see how it runs people over then, but I think it's still going to struggle if you. And I think my point is it's going to struggle in some matchups, and in those matchups, the battle tactics are a liability. Right? If you face like something with just meat for days, high recursion, Daughters of Khaine or Gits or something like that just throws meat into the middle of the board, ties you down. You've got 3 hammers, and then like that's it. You have to hope your 3 hammers win the game for you.
Thing is, like I can see how Daughters would do a lot of damage to it, but you need to think of it this way: like it can put up a fight because there's 78 wounds in this army on a 3-up save or better with all out defense. If this army ever charges a screen, it can do 2d3, which statistically will remove enough models so where Wardry can do his 6-inch pilot into the juicy stuff.
What I'm saying is people will put stuff into the midfield and don't put the juicy stuff in there. They'll put them into like a charge you next turn kind of position, right?
Yeah, but Wardry's threat range is insane because if he gets to charge, he does a 3-inch pylon with his ability and then a 3-inch pylon again.
Yeah, no,
and that's a 9-inch, potentially 9-inch. Like
yeah. No, I'm not saying it's bad, not by any means.
Yeah.
But like, there's counterplay here, right? It's a good list. Yeah. It's gonna run some stuff over that's not prepared for it, and they read the meta and they said no, people aren't prepared for this. I think by the end of the season, something like this won't work. I think people will have adapted to it, and it won't work anymore.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I think Wardry will get nerfed. There's no way he keeps that ability. That's way too good. Or he has to go up like 50 points.
Yeah, if he's the same price as Karazai, but like way more impactful, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a pretty, like, it might not be double Blood Knights, but this is basically every Soulblight list right now. It's instead of Blood Knights, maybe they'll just bring some Barrow Knights. I guess you're not spamming Barrow Knights anymore. They just nerfed it so only one unit can return a model each turn. So,
oh, they did? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it was in the FAQ. Barrow Knight's ability is once per turn army now. So only one unit can return one model every turn, instead of like 3 units each returning a model.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit stupid.
Actually, I can see that because I forget. Wardry, I think, buffs the damage on Blood Knights. Like he adds 1 damage or something if he kills something.
Yeah, he's a good hammer.
I can see why this list works. So it basically, if you can negate the Blood Knight weakness of if you charge them and tie them up, they're not going to do anything to you. Yeah, if they can keep doing 2 damage.
If you're faster than them, if you have strike first or make them strike last, if you just have high volume attacks and disposable units like Daughters of Khaine, there's just a lot of angles that you could take to beat this army, right? Like it's gonna, a lot of standard armies. Like I think this would do well into ogres, right? I think this would do well into probably the cities lists, right? The cannons just don't do enough on their own. You're gonna outpace them and then charge into them and then smash into them. And double Blood Knight charging into Cavaliers should wipe the Cavalier unit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this list would do well into cities.
Yeah, probably. Because I am trying to find what were the matches that these guys faced. This is taking more time.
Okay, well, we've got a couple more lists. If you find them, we can come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
but anyway, I mean, in this case, this guy, the last 2 matches, he full scored completely for 80s.
Nice.
So,
impressive.
Wow.
Yes. So this is something really tough right now.
It's a list that wins big or loses big, I think. And as the season
I
goes
think it's playing
on,
the Slaves to Darkness thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like
this is new
there was a
slaves.
time people couldn't beat 12 Vanguard and Velikor, and that's it.
People needed to adjust to it, and once they started adjusting to it, they nerfed the crap out of that army. It's over for slaves, man. I don't know what they do anymore.
Dark Oath, but nobody has the models again.
No, they even fixed the one cool thing that slaves could do with the Dark Apotheosis to get rid of the treasure from Intercept and Recover. They fixed that. So
yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the second place list. It's Daughters of Khaine that went 5-0. It's double Cauldron, right? You've got a Bloodrack Shrine and a Slaughter Queen. It's also got Krethissa, and then it's got 20 Witch Elves with knives, 20 Witch Elves with knives, 20 Sisters with knives, 20 Sisters with knives, and then 4 units of Life Takers. I love the symmetry going on here. Unironically, I like symmetrical lists, so you can play both sides of the... Like, if you need to split your army in half, it's like, I don't have to go heavy on one side. I can just go 50 and 50, right? And then push up the flanks as needed. This is either... I think what you were saying earlier, Luis, is that either they're taking Life Takers or Heartrenders or one of these, like, Chimera units, or they're taking the Shadow Stalkers. Either way, this is just chaff to throw in the way, teleport around, and score tactics and stuff. The meat of the list is the double Cauldron and then all the witches. And then for all the reasons we talked about, right? Tons of attacks, high damage attacks, tons of debuffs for hit and wound. Interestingly, this one
surprisingly tanky. Tanky.
Yeah, this one did not go with Cauldron Guard. This one went with Arena Veterans, which is
5 board.
That's the 5-up board if they haven't fought yet. And I think as time goes on, that one will become more common. That's why I was surprised Cauldron Guard was so popular. There were so many people playing Cauldron Guard, but that just doesn't pass the smell test for me.
Yeah, no, but in the moment that you're finding the Slaughter Queen of the Hack Queen, and the moment that they improve the save, and also they are improving the ward, so the repercussion is really good.
Yeah.
So, but in the moment that you can erase one complete block of 20 witches, but in the moment that you are facing another one, and also that unit is turning off your wards, in the moment that they are returning the hits, is really tough. The core of this, as you have said, Ketrusha, two Cauldrons, and 80 witches. Oh god. Even it's painful to assembly 20 witches. In the moment that you are assembling 80 witches, you expend at least 3 days assembly 80 witches.
Oh, right. I also forgot you cannot. This list does actually probably. You're right. It does probably beat Soulblight because one of the Krethissa effects is they turn off weapon effects. So if you charge them with Cav,
no charge plus 1 damage.
Anything. No plus 1 damage. Yeah.
Krethissa just beats Soulblight.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and there is another prayer or spell where it's a spell. I remember. It's a prayer. In the moment that you are getting the maximum score with a 9, you are buffing to all your army. And considering that this is a castle, in the moment that you are turning -1 to wound to every single unit that you are facing, so it's becoming really annoying. Because you have -1 from the wounds to the wound from the heart. That is the manifestation, and also -1 to wound from the prayer, and also -1 to hit if you are facing the first layer of screens that usually are the
sisters.
The sisters, yeah. So you are stamping without big wall. So it doesn't matter if you're removing 1 block, they are going to hit you with the seances, and then the game is over for you.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in this list. They get to take good trades all the time. Even against a double turn with 4 layers of screens, you can very easily survive double turns, even with the most fragile army in the game.
Yeah.
This
This,
Krethus
I feel like this list needs to be like 3 Canary Life Takers short. I feel like, or
I've
2.
cut 2 of them out, and then it becomes more in line with what other armies are doing right now. Because Krethus's return is only like she can only revive 1 unit once per game. It's like Heaven Sent, right? But it's still like it creates there's just too many bodies. There's too much stuff. You'll go in, you'll hit them, you'll trade with them, and then they just always have something to come back and hit you again. Because even those 10 Witch Elves that get returned, they're such a significant threat.
Yeah, but also if you are considering that in this case the shrine is counting with Silas Orator enhancement, that allows you to roll 3 more dice when you are rallying 1 unit. So besides to the musician, you have 4 extra dice to recover your slain model. So that's recursion as a top.
Yeah, and Zealous Orator's fine, right? Like usually when you get in combat with Witch Elves, 1 units like they'll usually wipe you out, or you'll wipe them out, right? Like you can survive combats, and in that case, the Zealous Orator doesn't work, but it usually works. Like it's a great ability for this army in particular. But it does have a lot of recursion. It's just hard to trade properly into this army when they have this many layers of screening. I actually like this. Like I like how many units are in this list. This is like a 2nd edition list. There was just more stuff in the game available. You could play. You have more pawns that you could throw away. You could play with your opponent for positioning versus tempo, and it felt really good. I actually wish every army looked like this. That could have 4 layers of screens and 4 hammers and 3 heroes. Like this actually feels like an army. It doesn't feel like a skirmish squad like every army, every other force does.
Bingo. You have mentioned the proper word. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, let's take a look at the other 5.0 list here for ogres. So it's got 2 screens of Noblars. It's running the Mawpath Menace, which is the 3-up counter charge. I'm just gonna double check that now that I said that out loud. I'm pretty sure that's.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah, so this is like 3-up, and you get a free counter charge. You still get to counter charge too, by the way. You can save your command points, and then if it doesn't work, you can counter charge a different unit.
I mean, this is not. I would say it's more like a murderlust than a counter charge, but it's like. It feels like murderlust. It's like a D6 move that goes off on a 3-up, and it lets you move into combat range.
Yeah. Murder charge, charge lust. We can think of a name for it.
Counter murder charge list.
Elegant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the 2 Noblar screens. So what they're going to do is they're going to position their units like 2.99 inches from the front, or like 2.49 inches from the front of the models. That way, if you finish a charge within half an inch of any point of those Noblars, they can, on a 3+ just move into combat range. Outside 2 point whatever. Or like they'll be like 3.1 inches from the front. So if they move 1 inch, they're in. And the threat of that makes it really, really hard to engage this army. Because you have to chew through 20 Noblars, which is actually hard to do with shooting these days. The amount of shooting people are bringing is not enough to deal with Noblars, and if they're on an obscuring objective, you're just not shooting them. So it's not a foolproof strategy. There's not enough charge mortal wounds to kill something like this. Morgonk, you were talking about the Blood Knights doing 2d3 and then Vordry piling in or whatever. That's not happening against 20 Noblars. There's just too many bodies. And then it's got just guts for days. Reinforced gluttons, gorgers for tactics and hitting flanks and stuff like that, and then reinforced iron guts. Like it's
twice. Yep.
It's just a ton of meat. It punishes you for charging, and you have to charge. Like you can't not charge this army, right?
Yeah.
And
and I think iron guts are, want to say, it's like, what is it? 4 times 9 times 4, 36 damage per 4, and they have reinforced, so 72. And if they fight twice, 144 max damage.
And it's all Ren 2, and it's all going to be hitting on 3s, winning on 2s. Yeah, and the strike class doesn't matter because you've got that Noblar screen in front of you, soaking up the first hit. There's not going to be enough models in range to hit you to do any significant damage because you're also 8 times 4, 40. Oh, sorry, 32 health on a 5-up. Like that's not nothing, right? Yep.
Plus, they can. I think they have a prayer or something for a 5 ward now, or something. I think like one of their new prayers or something. They got
the Beast Claw get one. I don't know if the guts.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if the guts get one.
I can recall.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But something worth a share to be mentioned. This guy faced at least 4 armies in the top 10, in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
He faced the Nighthound. He faced also to Cities, Luminate, and Singe. So, and the other one was VR. So he faced everything. So that told
top run.
pretty well about. Yeah, exactly. So he had a really tough path to reach the 5-0, and those armies are not easy at all.
Mm-hmm. Even more impressive, yeah. It's a great list. Some armies just didn't come prepared to deal with this much meat. Cities can't. For example, if you're using the new Cavaliers, you can't kill this list. There's not enough damage in your list to kill this. This is why you need the old Cavaliers. You need the higher damage.
If you're daughters, it doesn't matter. You just throw 20 witches away and you bring 10 back.
Yep. Yeah, daughters are they kind of just answer the meta. They don't have like a natural predator in the meta right now that's taking them out.
Daughters is this list, but better. It's basically trying to do sort of what this list is trying to do with like screens and like hammers.
Yeah.
Except just better.
This list can take a hit. Daughters can't, but otherwise Daughters does it better. Yeah, they're faster. They have recursion. Yeah, I would say Daughters just does the same concept but better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Iron Blaster, which I'm assuming was just because points.
Also, I just want to say Carson Whitlock is a dedicated Ogres player, so I'm very glad that if anyone's gonna win with Ogres, it's him.
Yeah, man. It's like when Stormcast are good and we take it to a 5-0 and it's like, yeah, we did it. You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like sure, somebody could just pick up Ogres and I guess do well, but I know for a fact Carson is a dedicated like Ogres player.
It's
better
it's better than seeing some like FOMO player picking up the army because it's good, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's like when a bunch of people picked up Night Hunt when Deathstalkers is really broken.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Now, if it goes on long enough, if ogres end up being incredibly overpowered, then it's like, yeah, well, all right, we're past that feeling now. Let's just get to the point where we nerf the army. All right, let's take a look at the cities list, because you're going to start to see a lot of similar things in many cities lists. They're all running. They're all running fearless exemplars. Forbidden Power makes an appearance here, which I think is still the best spell lore. Wrathful Cycles.
I think we messed up the name, didn't we? It's Dylan Thoreau. I think that's who was running this list.
Yep. Hold on, I can edit live. Bam. Let's do this.
Yes, it's Dylan.
Is it Dillon?
Dylan. Now I don't know. I don't know. I know it's Dylan. THERRIAULT. It's like that.
Uh huh.
All right, there we go. Dylan last name. Good enough. Sorry. That's my fault.
We're not going to bother spelling French names.
No.
Okay.
Look, I live in Canada. I'm allowed to dislike the French.
Okay. Sure, dude.
All right. So he's got Pontifex Sinestra, which is in every single city's list. 3 squads of Free Guild Command Corps, which is going to be, honestly, in every single list. The least I've seen so far is 2. Everybody's running multiple units. It's got a reinforced block of Cavaliers, and then this one deviates a little bit from the other lists I've seen. I will give it credit. This is more creative than the other ones because it's got the Steam Tank Commander, which is a good unit. It's got Callus and Toll, which are a good unit. It's got reinforced Fusiliers, which you actually don't see a lot of them. People usually just bring more Cavaliers. So this one does deviate.
Or cannons.
And for cannons, yeah, everybody's just bringing cannons. This is not the typical cities list, so I think that's pretty cool. It's got more tactical play, like the stuff that cannons wouldn't kill. This list has a better matchup into, right? Because you've just got the higher volume of fire. You've got the Callus and Toll playing strategically and forcing people out of position. So even though you don't have the raw damage output you need, that you could get with other units, you've got more tactical play, which I think is really good.
Yep.
I could see it struggling with ogre
meat.
meat. I could see it struggling with ogre meat. I could see it struggling with cities. Like it didn't 5-0. And what was the win path here, Luis?
With this one?
Yeah.
This one, even as you have mentioned, this guy was the one that lost against the Ogres guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and he also faced Ogres and Disciples of Singe. And let me take unlocking the rest of the armies that he faced. He also Kruleboyz,
What
Kruleboyz,
did he lose
and
against?
another ones against Cedars.
He lost to ogres.
Uh,
I think.
Okay.
Against Ogres with the third place guy.
That makes sense.
And also, yeah, and also he had a mirror match against cities.
God, that must be the worst.
It makes sense.
Right
Like
now.
he doesn't have the damage to kill the screens and the all that meat. And like the only thing that rolls drill damage in this army is like the Cavaliers and maybe the Steam Tank. And Command Core is just to rob you of command points if you ever get close to this army. They're just like
Yeah.
they're just constantly pulling that once per battle. I'll just make you spend a CP. I'll make you spend a CP.
Yeah, and also the first match was against Skaven.
Mhm.
But wow, against 2 units of the reinforced units of Stormfiends.
Hadn't thought about Storm Fiends.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, they all have a 5 ward? Wow. That's crazy. Oh, Free Guild Command Core all get a 5 ward.
No, they're just a good stat block too.
Yeah.
That's why you see 3 in every list. It's not just the command point train.
I hate that so much. It's so unthematic.
Yep. Imagine if your army was just 5 Vexillors and they didn't, not the meteor banner, like the healing rally banners. Like, it doesn't look like an army when you have 5 command squads.
I guess he's trying to also do like covering fire twice if he can.
I can see that. Okay, so I put this slide together here with top 5 armies to beat based on our discussions. Number 1, I think, is Daughters of Khaine, and what they're primarily doing is an infantry spam with Krethissa. They are high volume attackers, and they get to revive a unit. So, cool. Cities of Sigmar is the second best army to beat, I think. They are typically doing Cavaliers and Cannons, teleporting around with Zenestra. There's also Free Guild Command Corps, like we talked about, but really the meat of it is Cavaliers and Cannons. That's the big threat. Third army to beat is Soulblight Gravelords. They are cavalry spam, I think we can call it, because they're bringing so many Blood Knights and they're bringing Barrow Knights. I think that qualifies as spam with the amount that they're bringing. And almost every list has Vordry. I don't actually remember seeing one that doesn't have Vordry. And like Daughters, they're also reviving units and returning models. Kruleboyz, infantry spam, and they're giving you strike last, and they have high volume of crit mortals, so the 3-up saves that you have don't really matter against them. So they are acting as a predator to feast on all the 3-up save armies, but if you look at the rest of the meta, the only one of these armies that actually has good saves is cities on their Cavaliers. So Kruleboyz can match well into that. They can rally back the damage from cannons. They're not going to get wiped out.
They could do Blood Knights too. They could handle Blood Knights.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them. They don't have enough volume to kill 30 wounds, but yeah.
When you strike last, when you give them the strike last and you have the +1 attack, yeah, you can kill the Blood Knights for sure. Yeah. But they're not like they'll kill most things they hit. The problem is they don't have the unit count to keep up with Daughters, and they don't actually have they'll do enough to kill 3-up saves, but they won't kill ogres, right? Ogres just have too much health for Kruleboyz to kill.
Yeah.
The problem right now with Kruleboyz is that they don't have any mechanic to turn off wards. In the moment that they could turn off wards with the quantity of portal wounds, that could be really, really deadly.
Can they use the new ROR from KO?
No, I don't think so.
God, could you imagine? Could you imagine how stupid that would be?
That KO thing is very thematically limited. I think only Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and I think Gloomspite gets maybe. And I don't know who else has it.
There's so many armies that can use it, dude. It's like a ton of armies. It's disgusting. And then ogres, I think, are a very serious threat in this meta. Again, infantry spam. We're seeing a theme here. People are bringing lots and lots of effective health, right? It is an effective health meta. Soulblight, effective health. Kruleboyz, effective health. Cities of Sigmar, you have to get through the Cavaliers if you want to do anything against them. Daughters have effective health for days. We need a lot of damage output right now.
Maybe we just break Quester Soulsword and spam that unit.
Yup. That's a real
or
option.
Vanquishers.
No, Questers, because Cavaliers. Vanquishers don't do anything into Cavaliers.
Oh, right.
Yeah. They just got the red one.
What do you mean? Why not?
Only red one. Might as well just use Questers who can teleport. They'll get the bonus damage.
Questers,
they don't have the extra
right,
red.
but Questers are limited to only one objective for their quest mark, right?
Sure. That's fine.
No matter how many you bring. Okay.
Yeah, they're 200 points for Blight Kings, but double the damage of Blight Kings.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a real Stormcast list. I don't want to own that many questers, but someone will put it together and it'll be good. I could see Vanquishers in that list.
I mean, if you don't have 6 quester units, I'd bring like reinforced Vanquishers. It's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah.
I also wanted to give honorable mention on this list to Nighthaunt and Blades of Khorne. I think they are also 2 of the best armies right now, but both of them are getting new books, so it doesn't matter, especially Khorne. Khorne is actually insanely strong right now. Murderlust is disgusting. I hate it, and I'm glad it's going away. And Nighthaunt Ethereal is disgusting. I hate it, and I'm glad it's going away. So
I like how they kept Murderlust good though. Like it's not a bad ability still.
Yeah.
Like you just add what is it? Like you replace one of your charge dice or
you
something?
roll. It's Gavriel's effect. You roll 3 and you pick 2.
Oh, great! And you take D3 if you do it. Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. No, it's we're gonna have a book review for that army. I've got some thoughts on it. I think it could go further with the concept. It's got some issues, but anyway, we'll talk about that in the review. Is there any other armies we wanted to include on this short list of like, this is the meta, this is what you got to watch out for?
I would say until the Nighthaunt book comes out for the next 2 months, I would say it's going to take at least a month and a half for it to come out. You need to watch out for the Soggy Black Coach and 40 Grimghasts, or bunches of small MSU units surrounding 2 Soggy Black Coaches for 5-up wards and 4-up Ethereal.
Well, see, now that
that
you
army
said
is
that,
insanely tough.
now that you said it's going to take a month and a half, it's going up for pre-order. They're announcing it Saturday. Like, that's just how it's going to go.
Are they?
I don't know. You've said it,
Yeah,
so
maybe.
it has to be that way now.
Could be, but I'm just saying, like that army is insanely tough, and that terrain piece being free is criminal. That's like a 50-point terrain piece.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, the last game against Eduardo, using that faction terrain and also the black coach is difficult to be better.
It's like I can turn off your commands, and this thing also resurrects my models, and it has a 5-up ward, so you can't just like casually shoot it or something. Like, oof.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Very glad Ethereal is being changed. Very, very glad.
Oh, and it teleports, right?
Yeah, I think
sure
you need a sub-faction for that, but yeah.
No. The Nighthaunt one just teleports. The sub-faction replaces a terrain piece if you lose it. The Nighthaunt terrain piece just automatically self-teleports itself. It just can't be within 12 of another Nighthaunt terrain piece.
I thought you meant the coach, sorry.
Yeah.
The coach teleports with the sub-faction.
No. Right, but I'm talking about the train.
Yeah.
The faction train teleports. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
No, it's because they can appear behind of you, from you, whatever they want, because they are splitting or they are covering practically the board presence with the faction terrain is huge. And counting with all the mechanicals that they have, and also the black coach, it's really, really tough.
It is thematically appropriate.
I don't know.
Like, that's how Nighthaunt should play. Is like, they're just popping up everywhere, and you have no idea, and you're terrified, and like, yeah, that's right on brand. Just get rid of Ethereal and make it something that players can actually interact with, and I'm all on board.
Yeah, I think it's with the toughness, it's a problem. It's like Custody should not have unit recursion that good. I feel like that's the problem with Nighthaunt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's take a look at some daughters list. I'm just going to move this around as we talk. But you can see some similarities here. I'm just going to shrink this down. Okay, here we go. What do we see in common? Well, every list has Krethissa. Every list has a cauldron. Wow. Some of them have multiple cauldrons. They're either running 2 cauldrons or they're running... No, every single one has a Bloodrack Shrine too, because it's a Wizard 2 that also has some utility built into it. And then each of these has at least 60 elves with knives, or bladed bucklers in the case of the list from Jared here. This is like, we're getting close to narrowing down what the meta for Daughters of Khaine is. Eventually, enough results will go by and we'll just know this is the Daughters list, right? There's not a lot of variation here. These are the units.
Yeah.
It's just about figuring out what the optimal combination of them will be.
Yep.
And
at least go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to talk about the tactics. You go ahead.
Yes, because the most of them, they are arena veterans, but also Coven Seedlets is a good one. But what I am saying is that this guy in the Jared's list is 3 cauldrons. Oh God.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I think his list is like probably the worst. I think it's too elite.
I agree. I think the other two are more
Yeah.
refined, and I think I think as time goes on, we might even drop the Bloodrack Shrine, honestly, just for more witches. I think that could happen.
Yeah, the spells don't seem impact. Actually, you do need
Steed
a
is
Mind
good.
Razor source.
Steed is very good, and Mind Razor is very good. But is that the only wizard in the army? No, you could take the Little Medusa as well, right?
Right, the foot one, yeah.
And I think that could see play just because,
Or
like,
snake one, I guess. They don't have feet, but yeah.
yeah. I think that could be a pivot just to get
And
more stuff in here.
And what I am seeing is that Shadow Stalkers will be used even more.
Yeah.
Those Shadow Stalkers, they can jump every single turn. They have wards, and also they have a, let's say, pretty decent shooting output damage, considering that they are 110 points. But anyway,
yeah. I think the Shadow Stalkers are the right play personally. Just teleporting every single turn. It's quest or teleport every turn, not just once per battle. So like that's insane utility on a screen. They are a bit more expensive than the Heart Renders and the Life Takers, but I think it's worth it for that teleport.
yeah,
it's also more wounds.
I mean,
like it helps.
Maybe you do a mix. Maybe you do like 2 and 2 rather than 4 of a single one.
I mean, I don't know. Like we have a month, I think, before the next battle scroll. Like this list just all these, so it doesn't really matter. They'll run this, and then this list will lose like 150 points. That's it.
I think this list. What do we have? Like plus 10 on witches, plus 10 on sisters, maybe plus 10
40, 50 on Kruthuza.
Kruthuza is like plus 60. She's so efficient.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because she brings 10 witches back to life, guaranteed. So that's 100 points off her cost. And she's a priest too. And she just has so much utility. Like she's just too efficient. She just
So if you say plus 10, and plus 40, let's say, so that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 120. Yeah, I think this list could probably stand to lose 120.
Yeah, if you cross 2 of these Life Takers off, that looks like a good list to me.
Yeah,
like
about 150. Yeah, 150 points. Yeah, I think Life Takers are too cheap for what, like 80 points for that. Like, come on. Like, what are Aether Rings doing at 80 points?
More armies should have a unit like this. That's my stance. The game would be more fun if everyone had this.
Even in the next bundle scroll, if they are leaving an upcoming points is going up, even 100 points per list, I don't see that they will be impacted too much. I mean, if you remove one unit of 100 points, I don't think that they will be losing too much.
No, losing 1 unit won't be enough. This list has to lose 2 of these units.
2 of the tactics getters. They have to lose.
Yep. Yeah, because right now with 4 units, that's that's like a crit. 3 is the minimum number of screens you need for total double turn protection. Because one of the things that could beat this list is just getting doubled. Right, that's something Daughters has always been weak to. But because you can have 2 layers of screens, you're protected against a potential double turn. You can play soft turn 1, throw up some Life Takers, and then still have screens in place in order to take the double. But as soon as you get rid of that second layer, now all of a sudden Daughters just lose to a double turn.
Yeah. Plus, those are screens that can come back. You can even bring back Sisters of Slaughter if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's Witch Elves or Sisters of Slaughter. So it's like you really need to lessen how many just additional units this like list is taking.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not, hopefully there's more experimentation. How do Daughters players feel knowing that they're going to be playing Kruthuza for the next year? Like there's nothing else available to them.
No, Marathi doesn't even come close. I'll be honest.
That's awful, right? Like the whole point of Scourge of Ghyran was to give new options, but instead it's just reduced. It's just changed one option for another. It's a different thing, so you can buy new models, but that's it. It's I don't know.
No, and it's crazy how much like the snakes list are dead. Like they're just like they're bad.
They went from meta to
actually
bad.
Just bad. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at some meta lists from Cities of Sigmar. It's kind of got a similar problem here. You can start to see some similarities. We'll just shrink down here. You can see there's a bit of variation. Some of them are bringing... It depends on the wizard you want to bring. But generally, every list is bringing a wizard, either Battle Mage or Hurricanum or the Warforger. There's different variety there, but you can still see a lot of common things: triple command core, double command core. Um, the third list is kind of the most interesting to me because even though it is the Great Cannon Zenestra combo with just teleporting cannons around that we're talking about, what I like about it is it's got the new Scourge of Ghyran Cavaliers, which with the Free Guild Marshal. To get so he can activate, like, he counts as charge, so he can strike first, and then when he strikes first, he pulls a unit into combat.
You're right.
So I really like that combo because I love doing that in Stormcast with Quicksilver Draft or Lord Celestin on Dracoth or things like that. So I like that, but it's kind of starting to coalesce here as well, right? Like there's Zenestra in every list, multiple command core in every list. Fusel Major is very common in a lot of these lists. You could start to see Cavaliers are in every single list. It's just a matter, people need to figure out how many they want to bring. Is it 2 reinforced units? Is it 3 MSU units? Is it, 1 reinforced, 1 unreinforced? How many great cannons are ideal? Like, these are problems that people are going to figure out, and we're only about a month away from that, I think. And then we'll have the cities list that everybody runs.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I like the inclusion of Steel Helms in that last guy list because they're actually pretty sneakily good. If they mark an objective and bless it, you get a 5 award for everything that's contesting it if it's a human.
Is it 5? I thought it was 6. Because you can get a 5 award
it's 5
from
in this edition.
The order.
It was 6 last edition.
Oh.
It's 5 in the new one.
Let me double check that. Free Guild Steel Helms. Oh yeah, you're right. On a 3-up. Huh. That's pretty good. Saves you from using commands.
Yeah. It's like, I was thinking, like, why did he take Free Guild Command Core without with 2 command cores with just Marshal? Because that's pretty restricted. But if you take Steel Helm, you can even put the Cavaliers contesting it because, you don't care about the charge thing because they can count as having charged. So you just give them a 2-up save, 5-up ward with the Alchemite Warforger and the Steel Helms blessing that objective.
Man, 30 health for 320 points on a 3-up save with a 5-up ward.
2-up. Like, 2-up. 2-up save, 5-up ward.
That's a lot of health. I'm liking this third list the most. Like, in terms of raw, like, you just squeezed the most blood out of that stone. I think that's the list. But for strategic play,
I think it could afford to lose the second 10 Free Guild Cavaliers. Could probably bring that to like a 5, and then use those other points maybe in another Free Guild command.
And this isn't Carson here, is it? No, this is the French.
No, it's Dylan. Dylan Thurl. Yeah.
Dylan
well,
last name.
I don't think he's French. He might not be French, but it's just got a French last name.
Okay, there we go. We fixed it. Everything's fixed, Chad. It's all good. We're good. Okay. Oh no, it's all screwed up. Whatever. We're moving on. Luis, any thoughts on cities before we move on?
No, I think that they are the core of the list is quite strict. The most of them, they only feel that they are. I mean, it's quite difficult to face to the command corps, even if you are facing 1, 2, or 3, because they are turning out your command points and the uses of the command points. And also Zenestra is, if you are facing one unit that is pinning you away from Zenestra, and then you're trying to countercharge, and they are considering that they are also pinning you outside of the 310-inch range for Zenestra, is quite difficult to reach to the core of this. So it's not easy to deal with cities right now. In my experience, is kind of difficult. The good part is that this army is difficult in the hands of an experienced guy. I mean, always is. Any army is. But in this case, cities is quite difficult with experienced guys. That's the only thing that I am seeing on cities right now.
The thing is, like, imagine if someone was good in playing against. If you were playing against a good Stormcast player and they were playing the Beacon of Azir counter translocate strategy. Imagine that, but on steroids.
Yeah,
like that's what going up against this army is like. And imagine if you're fighting a good Stormcast player and they get access to Zenestra. Like this list, Zenestra is the engine. No, I don't care what you say about. Yeah, Free Guild Command Core could probably stand to lose the I think the command point reaction, I think that thing needs to go to once per turn army. That's why they're running 3, because they can just mess you out of command points if they have to.
Yeah, they're also just efficient.
Yeah. So that needs to go up, and like they needs to go to once per turn army or something, and once per battle, once per turn, like both basically. But Zenestra is like the engine here, and if she doesn't go up a minimum of at least like 60 points, I'd be very disappointed. She's like a 300-point unit. She is like Croak for this army.
Mm-hmm. Another thing with the command core is that they just get a 5-up ward because if you bring the foot marshal, he just gives them a 5-up ward. So then they're 140 points for 18 health with a 5-up ward.
Yeah, Cluster Soulsworn. Yep.
Basically, but they need the -1 save, but they're also 60 points cheaper, and they it is once per battle army. A reaction, opponent declared command for a unit within 12 inches of
right, but it's once per battle for that unit.
This unit, it should be be the whole army. I agree with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Any unit with this ability. That's what it should say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a problem. I think these lists got to go up. Like Zenestra herself should probably go up at like 80 points. She's way too impactful for a 240 or 260 point model. But I
imagine what they'll do.
I'd prefer she stayed that cost, and I would just change that D3 D6 mortal wound thing. Make that like 12 inches and a D3 instead of a D6, and then she's like a 240 point model.
If she had D3, I wouldn't feel too bad. Yeah, that's true.
Considering
current
that she
scroll,
can...
100 points, easy. Like you're talking about, like she's bolting people better than Tzeentch. She's bolting heroes better than Tzeentch is.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
It's not even a prayer.
And also considering that she can remove any manifestation, even in the turn that was
summoned.
That was summoned.
Yeah, because banish, you can only banish something. You can only use the banish ability on a manifestation that wasn't summoned that turn, but her ability doesn't have that stipulation.
I mean,
so Devin says it's once per game army, but it says once per battle army reaction. Opponent declared a command for a unit within 12 of this unit. So I'm guessing every unit gets to do their instance at least once, right? Or would that mean one unit out of the 3 get to do it?
I mean,
even if they don't, it's just an efficient unit, like you said. It's like a cheaper Quest of Soulsworn. Oh, he says only one. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. I guess they're just using it as like a more efficient, like Quest of Soulsworn, like we.
They're bodies. Basically. They're cheap bodies.
Yeah.
140 is too low. I think this unit goes. If it's not going to be unique, it needs to go up like 20 points at least 20 points.
At least 20 points, yeah.
Maybe 30 or 40.
My guess is what happens is they do +10 on the Iron Great Cannon, because 100 points is crazy. I'm sorry, it's insane.
Yeah.
They 10 points on the cannon, so that's 30 points on most lists. If you increase command core by another 10 or 20, that's another 30 points.
Minimum 20 on that. And then that would be 60.
And then Free Guild Cavaliers, my guess is go up by 10. The Soggy and the normal one, because the 3-up save.
They look like a 180 point unit to me.
Yeah, so then my guess is Zenestra will only go up like, I want to say 30 or 40 max. Like, I know you said 60, 80. I think because of these other increases, the city's army basically will lose about 160 to 200 points.
I'd rather just see Zenestra nerfed, frankly.
Yeah.
I'm okay with cities. It's such a cool playstyle. Like, cannons and cavaliers is a cool playstyle. I've wanted war machines to be good forever. And now we have it, so I don't want it to like get nuked out of the game or anything. It's just Zenestra's too efficient for that war scroll because she's too impactful. So I'd rather see Zenestra nerfed, especially because it's temporary. She's just a temporary scroll.
Yeah.
If you did +10 on everything, and then Zenestra went up like 80, I would be okay with that.
No, but to be honest, in my perspective, even if they are, Games Workshop is punishing, increasing the points of every single unit in cities. If they don't nerf some abilities of Zenestra, losing 100 points, I don't think that could be impacting so much in the efficiency of the army. To be honest,
the idea isn't to lose just Zenestra though; it's to increase points on everything that's being spammed.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you will find the hunters. Hunters are some kind of 100 points. So if you have a span of hunters, you have a span of command corps that are the cheapest units, and you have another tricky units that could improve the mobility, you will suffer in the same way. So they need to nerf. They need to nerf to Sinister, and not only increasing points.
Yeah, her rule needs to change. The Mortal Wound Blast is too good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun to play against. It's really not fun to play against. That's balance aside, like power aside, cities is not fun to play against. Like it's really not fun to teleport in the enemy turn for your opponent. For like when we do it with Translocation, it's super fun. But my opponent's not having that much fun with it. And then Zenestra's doing that with 3 units anywhere on the battlefield with almost no counterplay. And then she's also melting your hero, priest, wizards with almost no counterplay. So yeah, not fun to play against.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
Oppressive.
Let's move on to Kruleboyz, who, if it weren't for daughters and cities, I think and ogres are actually feasting on Kruleboyz right now. But if it weren't for those 3 armies, Kruleboyz would probably be top of the meta. And again, let's take a look at some meta lists. Shrinking this down, and
somehow the Killaboss has come back.
on the great
Killaboss returned.
On the great Snash Tooth, apparently. I meant to write Nash Tooth. My bad. Yeah, so they're all running Swamp Horde Bullies. That's just what you do. They're all running the Manifestations of Gorka Morka. They're running all Scouting Force, and then it's whether they want to run Restless Energy or Master the Paths. Because when you bring this many units, because your army got so cheap, yeah, you can throw away 3 units for Scouting Force and still, with no recursion in this army, 0 recursion, and they could still come out ahead. Other similarities, every list has a Swamp Kala Shaman. Obviously, he's the best wizard in the game. For his point cost, being a 2-cast wizard is like, it's stupid good, right?
Everyone has 2 of the Warcry Warband, or 3 of them? Jesus.
Yeah, everyone is spamming, like, each list has 2 reinforced units of Gut Rippers, because dealing with 1, usually you have to overcommit your army. By the time you finish killing 1, there's another one there ready to do the exact same thing. They're all running, interestingly enough, they're all running some amount of shooting, which is cool. I like that they're running, it's not just spamming the most efficient unit, it is actually playing strategically and setting up hammer and anvil style. But yeah, they're all running the Monster Killers because they're so cheap. They're just so cheap for what they
110
do.
For that?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. For giving a monster strike last and removing a rampage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the flavor in these lists comes in with, well, which monsters do I bring? Because they're all running some amount of monsters. Usually the Break a Boss on Mire Brute is popular. He's a good beat stick. I'm surprised more people aren't giving him like all the good enhancements that let him. I love this first list because it's got the Slippery Scumbag, which I hate playing against it, and I love that it's so strong. Because the Vulture is just a bad model, but if you give him this ability, he becomes the most obnoxious thing in the game, because on a 3-up, he can just retreat at the start of combat. You charged him,
oh my god,
12 or 14-inch move, however fast this guy goes, he's just gone. He's just out on a 3-up. It's so annoying, and it creates really interesting puzzles to play against, so I like that. I like that that's in the game now. And then, yeah, some are running Double Monster with the new Scumdrek, the soggy one, but you can see the core of the list is basically the same. It's wizard, 2 reinforced units of melee hammer, some amount of shooting, some amount of screens, some amount of monster. There's not we're not seeing the Kragnos list that we used to. This is not going for the big 3d6 charges. This is going for Stormcast without
attrition,
reserves.
just grindy attrition.
Yeah, it's a Quicksilver Draft combo all the time with high volume crit mortal wounds. No recursion, no teleports. Yeah. It's tricky, which is cool. I like that Kruleboyz are finally playing tricky, but
I wish we had this much stuff.
Look how much stuff they get. They get to bring like 6 hammers and still have multiple screens and still have 4 heroes in some cases. Like, this is so wild to me, man.
Yeah, this is the time I just paint my stuff. I feel like I can't beat this list. It's like the thing is, like, I used to run the Annihilator list, and like there was a time I realized that this army is way too elite and people are bringing way too much stuff, and I can't deal with it. I needed to switch until we got a buff. That's what I feel like now. It's like when I look at this list, I'm like, even with the translocation combo, how much could I kill here? Like, what would I have to do?
We have good tech against it. Sorry, go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, there are only two ways to face them. One is with shooting, and the other one is with equal silver route. Otherwise, we don't have any tools, another tools to face this kind of list, unfortunately, because even if they are not sending you, that is could be really good if they are not sending you to strike last, because it's really easy to send you to strike last. But just counting with that you are facing the monster killers, that they are hitting like a truck, and also the Gutripas also hitting you with mortal wounds and a high volume, there's no way to win against this list if you don't have good quantity of shooting or another mechanic that is canceling the strike last.
Yeah, we have a lot of tools to deal with that, right? We have Ruination Chamber with the resistance rolls. With Irridan, we can re-roll it, so that's fantastic. We also can just ignore the strike last if we have strike first, or we can also do things like Stormdrake Guard can charge in, use their rampage, end outside of combat. Strike first window is gone. Now you're into regular combat order. You just pile in, right? Like you just go into the strike last window with the Stormdrakes. It doesn't matter. So there's lots and lots of ways for us to play around it. I think Stormcast probably just gobble up these lists. If you're bringing the right kind of list for this season, I think we do very well into Kruleboyz in a way that a lot of other armies don't. Like I think Cities has a bad matchup into this. I think Lumineth has a bad matchup into this because they just doesn't matter how many 3-up saves you bring, like they just crit mortal you to death. But if you have teleports, if you have positioning tools, if you have significant shooting that can get at the right angles, like the shooting we bring just kills these monsters, and then what they're left with is usually 9 bolt boys total, which again we could just kill pretty easily, and then it's just a matter of surviving 20 gut rippas because you kill the other one, right? Like it's just, I see the path to victory here every time I would play against something like this, right? It's just keep your distance, don't let the gut rippas charge you because they are horrendously slow. That is definitely a downside of this army. It's they're hoping you charge into them, and Stormcast get the charges and do the damage we want to do when we want to do it. Our issue is always save spiking, which this army won't do against us because it's all 5 and 6s. Our issues are save spiking and recursion. That outpaces our trading. And this army does neither of those things.
I don't know, man. I think theoretically maybe, but I think they just have way too much stuff they can put in the way, and then once it's like the catch and kill list, basically. This does an excellent job of catching things and then countering with something.
It's not an easy matchup. It's a strong army.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it gets balanced out if monster killers go up to like 1. I don't know what the internal balance looks like, but it looks like monster killers need to go up, gut rippers need to go up. And I think people are only bringing as many bolt boys as they are because those 2 melee units are so cheap.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine this list without the shooting core. Like, you cut out... How many points are bolt boys right now?
120 something.
I think they're cheaper than that. 90. Yeah, they're 90 points.
Oof.
Yeah, that's why they're bringing 9 of them. They're bringing 3 units because it's less than 300 points. So if you cut out 2 of those units, a lot of these lists look a lot more manageable, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need to lose 2 units. Yes, I would agree. Yeah. And I don't care what those are. They could be either the monster killers or the bolt boys.
Yeah, they just have slightly too much stuff. Okay, you guys ready to talk about Soulblight?
I have to actually head out, but I will speak to you guys later.
Okay. Night, dude.
See ya.
Yep.
All right, Luis, let's do it. We're talking Soulblight. How much is there to really talk about, man? Every list is Prince Vordry, some combination of Barrow Knights, and we're not going to look at that one yet. Some combination of Blood Knights and Barrow Knights. Everybody has Vargheists. Like, that's just what Soulblight has become, right? It's annoying.
Yep. I mean, these guys, Vordry with the Knights is a deadly combo. They They have a lot of mobility. They have a lot of also the tools that they can trigger on your units. So I am seeing a big chance that Soulblight is is escalating some good places in the meta in the probably 1 or 2 coming months.
Well, I'm glad they're winning, and it's not because of like hordes of useless garbage models moving 3 inches in both hero phase and movement phase, like just wasting everyone's time. I'm glad the reason they're winning is because they're actually doing damage and they're trading and they're playing a real game instead of this like garbage playstyle that they've had for many editions now. But I don't know how strong this actually is, especially like looking at the second list, which has the 3 units of Barrow Knights. Now that that's been nerfed with the errata, that second list just doesn't. It's not that scary. You know, Vordry is still there, Blood Knights are still there, but it doesn't really have a third hammer. And if only one of those units can return models, how do they pivot? Do they just go into the double reinforced Blood Knight, and then this becomes like a one-trick army that's only just rushing you with 3 hammers and hoping to win off that? We've seen that. That's Slaves to Darkness. I think Slaves to Darkness did it better, frankly. So this is just a bad version of Slaves to Darkness. And not that it's bad, it's just Slaves did it better, and we know how to beat Slaves.
Yeah, correct. And right now, Slaves feels good. I mean, I don't like to say this, but I didn't thought that Dark Oath units and Valakor could be so good. I didn't.
Be'lakor, I don't know. Needing a visible target for Dark Master is really hurting Be'lakor. That is not fun to play.
Yeah, correct. Okay, but yeah, considering that these guys are really increasing their results, I don't know. Maybe as you have said, is because the people is not acquainted to face Bacchanal at this moment. But let's see.
Well, let's look at a third list. It's also Bacchanal of Blood, and it's a lot of similarities. It's got Vordry, but instead of all the other stuff that we talked about, like the cavalry, this does still have 2 units of Blood Knights, but they're not reinforced. But what this list is doing, it brought 5 units of Askergan Trueblades, because each of them just has a 4-up strike last ability, and you can use each one of them in every combat phase. So you can just layer these guys together, and if your opponent charges into you, it'll be like 4-up strike last. Oh, it didn't happen? Okay, 4-up strike last. Yeah, I've got a third one in range, 4-up strike last. And this works offensively, it works beautifully, because you can charge any number of units into combat, and you just need one of them to get the strike last off, right? So this unit has a spam issue, right? It gets better the more you bring of it, and it's only 120 points, so you can bring a lot of them and still bring Vordry and still bring a Vengorian Lord. Yeah, that is another unit to definitely keep an eye on, because the spam factor is there. Only 120 points is crazy for that unit.
Yeah, and considering that also Trueblades, they have a 67% of participation in the win rate. I suppose that's the reason that they are quite used right now. They are really cheap. They have a good synergy in the inclusion of this in this list. So wow, I don't know. But to be honest, I don't think that they will be nerfed with the number that they have. So therefore, I am thinking that they will be living a good moment, at least till the end of the year. So right now, it doesn't matter at the end if they are using only Bacchanal. They have good mechanics that will be improving their results on the efficiency in the meta.
I think once Blood Knights and Barrow, if Blood Knights and Barrow Knights get nerfed again in points, and the internal balance starts to shift, like, it doesn't take much. You add like 10 or 20 points to Blood Knights and Barrow Knights, and all of a sudden you start looking at other stuff in the book, and one of the first things you're going to look at is the Trueblades, because they have this spam factor going on. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think Soulblight is oppressively strong or anything. They just seem like a fast, punchy army that some other armies aren't prepared for. And then the recursion of Barrow Knights has been curbed. The fact that you can only return one model in one unit, that's like a fine unit now. I don't think it's overpowered by any means. What made it really strong was that you could bring multiple units and tie the opponent down at multiple angles, and then each one of those units would bring a model back, and that was just, and then you could use that to like tie into combat with other stuff, and it got silly, right? It got silly pretty quickly. Yeah, but I think Soulblight's not that strong. Like the of the other armies, like Daughters, Cities, Kruleboyz, those are the real armies that I'm worried about. I'm less worried about Soulblight.
I mean, I think that they have found a good mix with the battle tactics, the kind of units, and also the synergy of the units, because they are including in the more than 24%. 54% the scouting force as a battle tactic, and also restless energy. It is one of the most used.
Yeah, they're they're all going scouting force, restless energy. I wonder if Games Workshop is going to do something about the pick rates on battle tactics, because we're starting to see coalescence around Master the Paths, restless energy, intercept and recover is going to get less popular, but it's currently popular right now. And then scouting force as some armies pick scouting force and some armies don't. But like, there's basically 3 good tactics and then 3 bad ones. So I wonder if they're going to do something about that in the winter battle scroll update, because it seems like the kind of time they could just add 6 more battle tactics for people to pick from. That would be a pretty cool way to shake the game up.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Hopefully no, but I don't know if they are thinking to add some cost points to some tactics. Probably the most use it or the most.
No, I'm saying they just add more tactics. Instead of picking 6, you could pick from 12. That would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a cool way to go.
Yeah, could be good. Yeah, probably like a cinch. In the moment that you can declare 2 cards, but also you have the chance to. Yeah, that could be good.
All right, so let's finish off the stream tonight by showcasing some Stormcast 5.0 lists that have happened since the season started. First up here, we have this is a Discord this is a member of the Stormkeep Discord named Kites, and they went 5.0 using this Iridan list. So it is a lot of the good stuff we talked about in our Battle Tome review. Iridan the Witness leading a reinforced unit of prosecutors to give them Rend 2, and then teleporting them around, and then using the Beacon of Azir to recycle them, most likely, and hopefully also giving them blessed weapons with the Lord Relictor, right? If you roll a 5, and then they get the +1 attack, and then they get +1 rend, and then you teleport them somewhere, and then they usually make their charge, and then they usually wipe something, and then the Lord Relictor can just teleport them back to safety. And that's fantastic. And it's got a combo here of 6 Reclusians and 6 Annihilators, which is something that I've been thinking about lately, because the Annihilators can, like, you just pair these units together, like you put one in front of the other, and then anything that charges into that unit has a very good chance of getting strike last, and then between the Reclusians and the Annihilators just pounding on it, that unit's not going to last very long. And it's also got 2 units of Questor Soulsworn, which are just great for meat and playing the flanks. It's got a unit of Vigilors to give everything in the list +1 hit, which I love. I love that kind of efficiency. It's a good list. The only thing I'd criticize here, honestly, is personally, I think I would cut the Annihilators. I would probably bring some Night Judicators instead. I think the Annihilators are the weakest point of the list here because they're so slow, and dedicating so many points into the 560 points of your army and 1 point on the battlefield where you put your your Reclusians and your Annihilators. I think that's probably the weakest part of the list. So I would put in some Night Judicators to give you some shooting support, give you units that can play side objectives and still shoot into the middle. Personally, that's what I would do. But they went 5.0, so they obviously did something right. So congratulations to Kites on this list. I'm glad it went 5.0.
Yeah, and also seeing that he is taking intercept and recover with prosecutors and reclusion probably is not a big deal. Also with Iridan, because Iridan is a good hammer not the best hammer, but
Yeah.
it's a good hammer. Also increasing the range and the prepare moments and master paths. So master paths is also one of the not complex cards that to be
Yeah.
met.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This was very early in the season, right? This was even back in June, and Intercept and Recover, I think, will fall out of favor. I think this list will take Restless Energy instead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they went
Yeah.
Manifestations of the Storm. I think that could also be better if you went Aether Rot Machineries. I think Machineries is better than our Manifestations.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to try to handle machineries, but I prefer machineries instead of manifestations of the storm,
I do as well, yeah.
especially because only, yeah, probably one of them is really usable. The other two is is meh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Unfortunately, we didn't write down the name, and now we can't find it on BCP anymore. But this was a Bastion Carthalos list that went 5-0 on July 6th. So if you are the player who did this, please reach out to me on Discord, and I will make sure that you are properly credited. But I apologize, we didn't get your name off the BCP app at the time. But this is a Bastion list, which I've been tinkering with Bastion, and I think he's looking pretty interesting. It's got 2 units of Equestria Soulsworn, so Bastion moving up those 2 units, that's great. It's also got Reinforced Liberators, Reinforced Vanquishers. It's got 2 Tempesters to activate Thunderhead Host, and also shut off all-out defense. It's got a Reinforced unit of Long Strike Crossbows. So personally, I would split this up. I would do 2x3 instead of a Reinforced unit. But I guess if you are trying to get value out of Beacon of Azir, that might be why they ran the Reinforced unit, right? So you could teleport it forward, get some damage on a key target, and then just recycle it back before it takes any damage. That's an interesting use of it. This is kind of that style I was talking about. Even Mergonk was talking about it earlier on the stream, which is like just Stormcast meat. Like we just bring a ton of health on 3-up saves, Reinforced Vanquishers, Reinforced Liberators, 2 units of Equestria Soulsworn. That's just a lot of meat for your opponent to get through, and some armies can't kill that much 3-up save, especially while long strikes are shooting at you and Tempesters are shutting off your all-out defense, and the Night Relictor is reducing your wards by 1. I can see this list doing well. It's not the kind of list I want to play. I don't like using that kind of meat style. That's not for me. It's got enough shooting. I can't even say it doesn't have shooting, but I would probably bring like a Cavalry Hammer in here. I think this is just too much infantry. For me, personally. Obviously, it did well, so I can't say it's a bad idea.
Oh, it's always good. It's always susceptible to be better. But right now, to me, I love to play with infantry since always. But I think that considering the conditions that we have right now, and also the meta or the armies that are in the top of the meta, I suppose that a good fast unit could be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like even cutting one of the Soulsworn here for Stormstrike Paladors, I think could go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Just having one more fast unit to go along with the Tempesters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also because Scouting Force is requires almost the complete of the units placed here in this roster needs to be landed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's much better with the Scouting Force a fast unit, probably Tempestors, being another unit of Tempestors.
Well,
instead of one of the.
It might be the case that the battle plans were all like they just had the 11-inch territory at the bottom, or like most of the battle plans had that. So he had a very easy scouting force. Not with the Bastion move, because at the time of this event you couldn't scout if you moved out of your territory. But what if they had easy scouting forces, like because the battle plans just had small territories, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at our third and last 5-0 list. Unfortunately, Stormcast haven't seen a 5-0 in the last 2 weekends. I don't know if there's any events coming up this weekend, but hopefully we see another one soon. So Peter Twig on July 12th ran this list. Again, Iridan with Prosecutors, but where this list differs is that it is all in on this Prosecutor double fighting combo. And we just talked about this on the list video that should be coming out next week. but this is the Prosecutor double tap. So the combo here is you let me just make sure I remember how to do this. Illidan gives the unit +1 rend, and then Knight Relictor hopefully gives the unit +1 attack, and there's no Guard of Steel Soul in here, so you don't get that. But what you do is you teleport the Prosecutors with Finest Hour, you hit the unit you want to attack with Vigilors to get +1 hit, so now your Prosecutors are +1/+1 with +1 rend and +1 attack, and then you drop the Vigilant nearby into play, you declare the fight twice on the Prosecutor, so they get to fight, and then the next time they fight, they have strike last. But to offset that, you use the Storm Coven spell to give the Prosecutor strike first. So at the moment they're picked to attack, they have strike first, but they don't have strike last from the Vigilant yet, because that ability only activates after you pick the unit to attack. It's a reaction to picking the unit.
Correct.
So the Prosecutors fight in the strike first window, and then they have strike first and strike last at the same time, so those just cancel out. So you can pick them to fight normally twice. So it goes Prosecutors fight first, and then Prosecutors fight, and then your opponent has a chance to fight. And
correct.
And then to add on to that, this list also took a Lord Terminos with 6 Reclusian, so he's got that tough, durable Quicksilver Draft combo, dropping somewhere on the board that can do a lot of damage as an enemy charges in. So it's got that additional utility. And yeah, I love it. I'm glad to see the Prosecutor double tap goes 5-0. I've been there's James sometimes on the podcast, but a good friend of mine, James, plays Prosecutors and he loves using the double tap. So it's gratifying to see it go 5-0 at an event.
Yeah, and they have a lot of mobility. I mean, you don't need fast units. I mean, we have two, but we have also a lot of treaties to meet the rest of the targets, because restless energy requires mobility, and intercept and recover also need tricks in order to reach to the highest unit in the opponent's army. So I think it's a good synergy between all the units. There's a lot of good combos that you can use.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty good list.
It's got some. It's not the way I would build this list out personally. I don't like running double Prosecutor. I think it's too fragile. I think you need a fast chaff unit like Stormstrike Paladors or even Tempestors could be a good pick here just to support them. I would be inclined to probably go Beacon of Azir instead of Quicksilver Draft. I'm not sure if I like the Quicksilver Draft combo with the double tap because it's kind of at odds. It's like two different modes. It's like you've got this offensive combo and then you've got this defensive thing. And if the combo goes off and it's good, then you don't need the defensive part, right? Like you've done crippling damage to your opponent. You won't need that Quicksilver Draft combo, so that part of your list isn't helping. Whereas you could be putting more points into either pinning your opponent down or increasing the potency of your combo by doing something like having Guard of Steel Soul or Tempestors or even a second Knight Relictor, maybe a Lord Relictor, so you can fish for blessed weapons. I don't know if the right thing to do is to have a backup mode or to just go all in on this concept. So it's interesting to see that the way that I wouldn't go has succeeded. So that's making me think twice about it.
But to be honest, it's the kind of list that I love to play in Stormcast.
Wizard list? No wizards?
Fully of infantry. No wizards, exactly. No wizards. A lot of infantry units, and I love the reclusions. I mean, this is quite defensive, but also quite offensive units. So you have a pretty shaped anvil and pretty shaped two units of hammers. So quite good to me.
Oh, there is a wizard. Obviously, Storm Coven are a wizard. Duh. Why did I say that?
Oh yeah, yes, Storm Coven is a hidden.
Yeah, and this should be Aether Wrought Machineries in here as well. My mistake.
Yeah, just to avoid that, the opponent could make a redeploy. Yeah. An annoying redeploy.
Yeah. Okay. Solid. I'm glad that Stormcast are still pulling out 5-0s even in this meta. We'll see what happens with the September battle scroll. I think Stormcast are in for August is going to be a rough month for us. I think we're still going to pull out some 4-1s, and we might even see another 5-0 or 2. But I think once the September battle scroll drops and all the top armies are nerfed down, I think Stormcast are going to start to look a lot better because we have good matchups into the things that the rest of the meta is going to struggle with, like Kruleboyz, ogres. I think we have the tools to deal with ogres. It's just daughters, night haunt, and cities that are proving a problem for us.
Yeah, just a quick comment about this Peter list. He has faced the Kruleboyz to Slay to Darkness, another mirror match against Blake Citadel Stormcast, Arion Jaws is Soulblight trailer. So he has a pretty decent, decent.
Like, it's not too many of the meta armies, right? So it Iron Jaws, Slaves, another Stormcast. It's not like he's facing the Gauntlet, right? Like the top 5 armies we're talking about. So, yeah, still good though. 5-0 is still impressive.
Perfect. Yeah, correct. But anyway, yes, let's see. And reinforcing your comments, I don't know. This is what I have realized, but always Stormcast in the change of editions of seasons is taking a little bit of time. Let's say the learning curve for the players to adapt their list to the seasonal rules. So I hope by probably no more than October, November, we start seeing that participation is increasing the win rate in the meta. But I think that Stormcast could be good if we are reaching the 50% in the win rate, probably in 2 or 3 coming months.
I think you're right that there is a transition period. We see it every time there's a seasonal change, a new edition comes out, or a new, like we just have such a deep bench. We always find the most efficient thing to play, and we will adapt. We always adapt. So that's what we're going to see. We're probably going to squeak up back to about 50% after the September battle scroll. And, if you add the like the phantom 5% that Stormcast always should have, we're going to feel like a very good army after a lot of other stuff gets nerfed. So I'm pretty hopeful. If anytime if our win rate is high, I'm like riding high and I'm like, oh yeah, everything we talk about is doing well. Stormcast are a good army, just like we say. And when the win rate is low, it's like, oh no, Stormcast are actually better than this, I promise. But also, because our win rate is low, we get buffed. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just on too much copium. But I don't know, we get buffed either way, right? Like when we're performing well, our bad units get buffed, right? Like when Vanguard Paladors were good, they didn't get nerfed, but like we still got point cuts to like concussors and stuff like that. And then now that we're actually doing poorly, let's say, maybe Vanguard Paladors get buffed. Maybe Axe Paladors can not be something ridiculous. Maybe they can be a more reasonable, like 220 points instead of 250. So we'll see. It's an interesting time.
Yeah, and to be honest, I am still dreaming with the cavalry and the shooting from the Renation Chamber. I hope for December to have something.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah.
I think if Warcry still existed, then a shooting unit in the Ruination Chamber would be a good Warcry unit. But it looks like Warcry is dead, so I think it might take them some time to figure out how to rebox all the stuff that's coming up for Warcry. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah, let's say crossing fingers.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good place to finish off. Because my daughter is crying, so I'm gonna have to go deal with that. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Luis, thank you very much for preparing all the slides and getting all the info that we needed. I could have done a better job editing them. That's on me. There's a couple typos in there, and I'll get that fixed up for next time. But I'm very glad that we got the Realm Report back up off the ground. I've been looking forward to doing this series again for a long time. It's fun to look at the meta and see how it's going to change over the next few months. So it'll be interesting to see. Especially there's a battle scroll right around the corner in September. So we'll probably do another one of these in August, and then we'll try to make it a monthly thing.
Yeah, for sure. Let's keep putting an eye in these meta results, and hopefully we could have in the coming 2 months a good another more 5-0 Stormcast results.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm
But
sure
anyway,
somebody out there
and
is already
yeah,
they're putting it together. They're getting Storm Drakes, they're getting Tempesters, they're getting all the painting done, and they're gonna rock it. They're gonna go 5-0 for sure. All right.
yeah, and also once again, thank you to Peter from Warhammer to allow us to use this information.
Yes. Thank you very much, Peter. Fantastic guys at Warhammer.com. Please check them out. We're not sponsored or anything. We just really like them. Oh, and
Thank you very much.
keep an eye on the Stormkeep Discord. We have a very cool contest starting tomorrow. So if you made it all the way to the end of the stream, thank you very much, and have yourselves a great night. We'll see you in the next one.
Okay, thank you,